A very good evening to every one of you. Good evening, Rajesh. Good evening to everybody. Hope all of you are doing good. So welcome to the day one of the marriage matching program. See, for those of who are traveling with me, the entire pattern here is we have the predictive astrology course, which would go for 2 years. But there would be sub-programs because one is the predictive aspect of astrology. But then people would come seeking your advice on various things, right? The moment you call yourself an astrologer, right, they would expect you to know about all gods and goddesses. They would expect you to know numerology. They would expect you to know Vastu, right? They would expect you to know almost everything. You should be answering almost each and every question. So the goal here is to make sure that all astrologers, all practicing astrologers, they find a source, one-stop source for a knowledge of applying astrology. See, it's not about endless gyan, right? It's about I get a horoscope. How do I apply? So considering all of that, this month, first I started with the PARIHARA course, right? Then Pearls of Astrology, right? Along with the predictive astrology class, right? Now we have the marriage matchmaking program, right? Initially, it was a 5-day program. Then I thought, no, you should also get access to, how to apply it on a real-time basis, because that is what applied Jyotisha is all about. So discussing it while applying it on charts. So it's going to be a 9-day program. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all one day gap. So it would be alternate days, which means today we have a class, then day after tomorrow. Then after that 1-day gap, so that you get the time to revise. That's one good thing. You can also look into horoscopes within your family, around your circle, match, ask doubts so that you have time to ask doubts. And most importantly, I also have a control over the consultation slots that I give to my regular clients, right? Because that is my bread and butter. Because it is only through this applied knowledge that I'm able to talk to you. I'm able to give you the knowledge that you obviously need to be applying, right? So I pray, I wish, I desire, I hope that all students who are listening to me, who are taking notes, please take notes. Notes is everything, right? So please take notes. So I hope and I wish and I pray that all of you become famous astrologers, become astrologers with good amount or the best amount of Vakra Siddhi. Most importantly, people should respect you. That is the most important thing. You are into a respectable profession, right? So people should respect you, and the respect comes via your action. So your actions should be profound. I went to Rajesh sir, I went to Rahul sir, I went to Sai sir, right? After he told me this happened in my life. After he told me that, this happened in my life. That should be the testimony of each and every one of my students who happen to also watch the program later on, right? See here, I want you to listen carefully here. So five days was planned. I'm adding an extra 4 days, right? All I want is your complete attention. You should just pay attention here. That is very, very, very important, because here it is about understanding the key concept, right? Once you understand the key concept, you should be able to apply it in your own different ways, in your own different forms, because the challenge in astrology is nobody can teach you anything completely, right? Because there are certain things which only come through practice. But what I'm trying to do is, if I give you that core concept or core knowledge, you would be able to understand everything. See, while I was practicing astrology, or when I wanted to practice astrology, to get good teachers was difficult. We had to go from one teacher to another teacher, find this, find that. Then literally, break our head, because, one person would be telling something, the other person would be contradicting something. So all this happened, in our lives. So then, you need to filter what actually works, right? So as a team, as a group of friends, we always sit down, we always make it a point that today, whatever horoscope we studied, we would sit down in the night and we would discuss, this rule worked out. Remember 5 years back, we studied under this teacher, this rule worked out. This rule is not working out too much, but we'll never blame our teachers. We never blame our teachers. If this rule is not working out, why is it not working? So this is the way, I have been studying. My entire journey has been like that. Not just me, many people who are traveling with me, where we just discuss astrology. We don't discuss about our personal life. Nothing. We don't discuss anything about our personal lives, right? Even when we are going to temples, when we are going on excursions, wherever we are, we just discuss about astrology. We just discuss about these little nuggets and golden rules, right? And that is what, makes us stand where we are today. And my earnest desire is, I should pass down this knowledge as soon as possible to everybody so that, everybody knows and gets that confidence to predict point blank. It should be bullseye. All your predictions should not be storytelling, right? That is one thing, which means here, see, the moment you call yourself an astrologer, right? First, you need to understand this concept. The moment you call yourself an astrologer, forget about Vastu. Vastu, they will come later on. But the moment you forget about calling yourself astrologer. Even if you tell that, I'm studying astrology, immediately they would ask you, this is the nakshatra of the girl in my family. And I'm getting an alliance. This is the nakshatra. So can both get married? This is like the first question, even as you are a student. See, even though you are a student, you will never tell you are a student because you will portray yourself as an experienced astrologer, right? That is what happens in the beginning. See, in the beginning stages, even the little bit that you would actually go about and magnify it. But as you grow older, what will happen? How much ever knowledge you have, you wouldn't actually show your knowledge. This is what happens to all astrologers, at least as far as good astrologers. So somehow you need to be in the market. So you cannot say no to anybody. So you will take the horoscope. You will check Tarabala. Then you would get confused. Should I use Tarabala? Should I use the concept of Dasa Vida Puruttam? Obviously, you have the Dasa Vida Puruttam in Tamil. In the northern part of India, you have the Ashtakuta, right? Whatever it is, you're just using certain simple rules in order to go about and match. This used to happen in the past where, people just used to look into the Dasha Vidha Puruttam. That is in the southern part of India, which means you just consider the nakshatra, to a certain extent, the lordships, right? And if there is a certain amount of points, some people say 50%, some people say 70%, right? You say yes. Then what happened? Over the years, since astrology as such has bombarded into the internet where everybody seems to be an astrologer. Especially during lockdown, there are so many lockdown astrologers. They started learning astrology during lockdown. So everybody has an expertise in the subject these days. Or that's how they portray themselves to be. So now, over the last few years, or many years for that matter, people have come to this sudden conclusion that, this thing of just looking at Gun Milan, or what we call as Dasavida Puruttam, Ashtakuta, whatever you call it, is not enough because we are matching horoscopes where we have this many points out of this many points, but still they are going through divorce. Why is this happening? That means we should not look at this. That means we should only look into the birth chart. This is one concept that people are following. But as I always told you, as I told you in the beginning itself, whenever a rule is not working out for you, immediately don't say that the rule is not working out, the teacher is wrong, whatever had worked out before does not apply today. No, your approach has to change. That's all. Which means the rule is a rule is a rule. That won't change, right? These are rules for a lifetime, which means whether it is this generation or the previous generation, a rule is a rule. But somewhere somebody has to teach you the application, the proper application, and that is where the failure happens. So till you rely only on books, till you rely only on the social media, till you don't get ready to go about and travel from one place to another place, meeting teachers after teachers and collecting information, applying it on horoscope, you will not be able to apply these rules. So whatever you're getting today is an elixir. It is not, something that I invented. It is something which has come from so many teachers, from so many masters who've been practicing this art, where we went, we learned, we practiced, we applied. And only after it is time tested, I'm sharing it with you. And by the way, this is very, very simple. All the things that I'm going to be sharing is very, very simple. The biggest tragedy that all of us face is, especially astrologers or aspiring astrologers, what we face, we always want to look up. There is something up in the sky. There is something special. Somebody has to have some different quality to become an astrologer. No. Every precious gem, every precious thing that is in astrology is right in front of you. So you need to look down. You need to look straight. Everything are already there right in front of you. The only reason why there are failures, especially when it comes to marriage matchmaking, is because you don't look at certain things which are very, very basic. And you look at something which is completely complex at times. I'm again and again repeating, once you understand something which is fundamental, the biggest things, the complicated things will automatically just open its door to you, right? So you can have so many different ways, how do I look into the birth chart then? How do I superimpose this with this horoscope? What is dosha samyam? What is kuja dosha? What does kuja dosha mean? Does kuja dosha mean that this person will die? Or does this kuja dosha mean that this will be an angry person? See, everybody has their own interpretation. Gyan, all of that is fine. Sir, on ground, what is happening, sir? You tell me that. That is astrology. That is applied astrology. Astrology is not sitting in an AC room and giving gyan. Right? You should be there. You should give point after point after point after point. 10 points. That's it. That person should be dazed. So when you're matching horoscopes also, you should match horoscopes where people thank you tomorrow in the past. So what you did is beautiful. I don't think I could have got a better match than this. Thank you, sir. My entire generation would be indebted to you. This is the kind of astrology that you should practice, right? And not this astrology where, what, sir, I went to this astrologer, famous astrologer, sir. He's appearing in all TV channels, sir, all over the place he was. After consulting him only, we went about with the alliance. Now it is heading towards a divorce. See, we should not blame other people. Let's not get into that blame game. But what I'm telling is, somewhere, somebody has not been taught from the right source. That's it. That's the only thing, which means anybody who gets that source, you have cracked it. You don't have to worry about it. So here, the source is here. The only thing that you need to understand here is, you need to pay your attention, right? You need to pay your attention. That is it, right? So everybody, every astrologer has this little difficulty in the beginning stages on whether we can match this horoscope or not. And this also happens in Muhurta, by the way, which means, can we prescribe this or not? So, what do we do finally? Finally, we will have the Panchanga. In that Panchanga, it would be a yes, 10 points, 15 points, 20 points, go ahead. Same thing for Muhurta also. Muhurta also, you would look at, what is the good time today? In the Panchanga, is it written it is a good day? Okay, good. But we need to understand, for every person, a day can vary, a time can vary. Your good time is not my good time, sir. My good time is not your good time. So, I'm telling you, these are the gems, which means once you understand to match horoscopes, people will not leave you. Once you understand to cast a good Muhurta, I'm telling you that person would be like, he won't leave you. Because what happens in a Muhurta is, when you cast an auspicious Muhurta for a person per se, that day, that instant, that moment will be unforgettable for him. He will not forget that moment. See, sir, you eat the same chapati in the house, right? You eat that same dal, roti, sabji, vegetable, right? But there will be one day, that same dal, that same roti, That same sabji, that will be delicious, sir. Same, it is the same. In fact, it is your same wife who's cooking or the same mother who's cooking. But one day it is very, very delicious. That day is called as Muhurta. So the moment you understand that concept as well, of course, these are the classes on Muhurta, Panchanga, all of that will be coming one by one. Once you understand that, you will get clients who will be there with you lifelong. They will ask your guidance. They will seek your permission before you do anything. And oh my God, what a fulfillment that is, sir. What a fulfillment that is. Somehow you will feel that, what? Okay, this is what we call as an achievement. It is not about, the money that you get, right? Anyways, they will give you the money. You don't even have to ask them anything. They will give you, right? But it is about this fulfillment that you get as a profession. And that is what creates the respect, right? Which means here, you are getting a culmination of knowledge which is gathered over time. And it is an applied knowledge. So make use of it. Revise it. I'm giving you one day gap and apply it. Tell me your results, right? See, before we get into this Purutta or marriage matchmaking, you need to understand one concept. Sir, I have a daughter. My daughter needs to get married, right? So I go to my community marriage broker and I tell him, find alliances, right? Let's say one alliance comes, right? The broker comes with one alliance. So how is the boy, sir? Gem of a boy, sir. What type of boy, sir? Gem of a boy, sir. Brahma Muhurta, he wakes up, sir. After that, Surya Namaskaram, sir. Nearby, then he goes to the temple, sir. After that, he returns home. Again, one puja, Pancha puja, this puja, that puja. Then in the evening, Sandhya Vandanam. Spiritual boy, sir, religious boy, sir, family also, religious families. Agmark, I can give you guarantee. He shows me the photo of the boy house. Extremely religious boy, pious boy, beautiful boy. Beyond this, I cannot get an alliance. Tick mark. Sir, next Muhurta, let's fix the marriage. But then I forgot something, sir. What did I forget? Sir, what is this boy doing? The broker would tell you, sir, that's what I told you, no? Morning he gets up, goes to the temple, he does puja, then evening puja, afternoon puja, night puja. Full time he is doing puja, then what? Puja means at least is he a priest in the temple? No, sir, puja. So work. Why work, sir? God will take care. So here, sir, you need to understand one important thing. The quality of the person is good. The action, no action. If he's not going for a job, how is he going to take care of my daughter? Sir, does he have own house? Sir, he's in the temple most of the time. So right in front of the temple, he will sleep. Food, sir. Sir, morning, afternoon, evening, they are giving food in the temple, no, sir. So here, the quality of the boy is good. Action is not good. Sir, can I give my daughter to him? No. Okay, sir. Now, the marriage broker is coming with another alliance. Another alliance, sir. BE, ME, all whatever you want, you add to the degree. Extremely highly educated. Top engineering college in the country. Very good. Where is he working? He worked in TCS, he worked in Accenture, he's working in Italy, he's shifted to Netherlands. Superb. So after I give my daughter, what can happen? I can go to Netherlands. Free ticket, right? Marriage is fixed. Next Muhurta, you fix. But now, sir, I forgot one important thing. I did not ask for the quality or the guna of the boy. Job is okay. He has own house. He has own car. Flat. In this city, he has one flat. In that city, he has one flat. What is the quality of the boy, sir? Drinking, smoking. Once a while, he will drink, sir. What is that once a while? Once in a week, twice a week. Is it only drinking? Whenever he drinks, he will smoke also. Only smoking. Whenever he smokes a little bit gutka, bidi, all. So this line is coming. So now, the action of the person is good. He's in a good job. He has everything. But the behavior is bad. Now can I give a daughter? This is where the problem is. Which means if you're just going through the Gun Milan, or if you're just going through the Dashavida Puruttam, that is one concept. If you're just looking at the Rashi Chakra alone and looking into the Dasha Bhukti will give you, what action he's involved in today. What is inside this person, again, you need to analyze. So it is an amalgamation of both of them. And sadly, in the old days, what happened? If you're a good boy, you will get a good job. See, your guna is what is your action. But unfortunately, as of today, your guna need not be your action. The first boy was a good boy. He should have got a good job. But somewhere, his life, his karma, he is in that situation. This boy is a bad boy. He should be suffering, but he is in a good job. He is in a good position because he managed to perform the right action somehow because his time was favorable. That is his karma. And this is where we get caught up. We send our children, we send our daughters to America, USA, European countries these days, thinking that, they would have a good life because we are basing everything on that action. So if that action correlates, if that action equates the guna, good, tick mark. If that action does not equate the guna, then we start blaming astrologers. So as astrologers, you need to go about and amalgamate both of them, which means if somebody tells you, looking at the Gun Milan, looking at the Ashtakuta, looking at the Dashavida Purutta, which means what? We look at 10 points. South India. 10 plus 1 actually is not correct, incorrect, and we should straight away only look into the Rashi Chakra and the Navamsha Chakra. No, you should not do that. It is just that somebody did not teach you that technique. Again, the other question is, sir, then how do I look into the Rashi Chakra also? That also somebody has to tell me. The bhava for marriage is 7th bhava. D9 chart, somebody would say it's a spouse's chart. So where do I look? What do I look? What is the gaugement of whether I should say a yes or no? So in most of the cases, it is a wild guess. In most of the cases, it is just, a fluke, right? Which means, let's say somebody is a Mangalik, somebody would say you should look at it from the Lagna. Then somebody would say you should look at it from the moon sign. Then somebody would say you should look at it from Shukra. Sir, then how do I get somebody married to somebody? So what is important? What is not important? Once all of this is taught to you from a conceptual standpoint of view, which can be applied immediately, then immediately after each session gets over, you can actually put everything into practice. Right? This is one part. Now let's move into the session. So why do two people get married? Two people means we are ideally referring to a boy and girl here. Right? Two people, that is a boy and girl, they proceed with a marital union for the purpose of what? For the purpose of Santana Vritti. Vritti in Tamil. For people who are in the northern part of India, you turn Vritti into Vriddhi. That's it. Growth, basically. I have a family. I come from this community. I come from that community. I have a father. I have a mother. I'm the only son. Right? We need to grow our clan. Right? We need to multiply. And this is the basic concept. This is the basic concept here, which means what? It is for the purpose of Santana Vriddhi. Please write it down. Why am I telling you to write it down? Please maintain a separate book, or what you can take is you can take a good quality GSM paper, right? Write it down, put it in a file, because my purpose of teaching you is not to just become practitioners of astrology. No, your life should be good. Right? My only agenda is you should be a successful astrologer. That's it. Nothing beyond it. I have zero agenda in all of this. You should be successful. Sir, this point I used today, sir. Amazing, sir. Right? This point I used with this client, sir. Amazing, sir. That is the only word that I want from you. Nothing more than that. Which means you should practice this beautiful art, and at the same time, you should teach 10-20 people. So when you write down, you will be able to teach. You will be able to guide. I want you all to become future Masterjis, teachers. That is the reason I'm teaching you. So what is the first concept here? The reason two people get married is because they need Santana Vritti or Santana Vriddhi. Now, does it only apply to a male and a female or a human male and a female? No. You have a male dog. and it consummates a relationship with a female dog, right? You have a male elephant, it consummates a relationship with a female elephant, right? You have a male cat, consummates a relationship with a female cat. So what is the big deal here? Why go about with so much? Why should I even consult an astrologer, right? Because here you need to understand, it is not just about santana vritti here. It is about something beyond that, which means what? When there is a marriage, when a girl comes into your house, or when a boy marries a girl, there are so many things which are involved here, which means what? We are human beings at the end of the day. The primary agenda here is not to just consummate a relationship and have children, but it is about unifying two people together, unifying two families together, right? Sir, if this boy comes to my house, it will be good. Don't we use that word? Right? We have our own colloquial version. In Tamil Nadu, I have this colloquial version. In your place, see, if this girl comes into my family will be good. Right? She came to my house. She is the Mahalakshmi of my house. My son-in-law came. He is taking care of everything. He is the son of the house. He is not the son-in-law of the house. Which means what? As human beings, we have the emotion here. Which means it's about, you know what? A unifying force in the family. A girl is coming to my house, right? A boy is coming to my house. Will it go about and create unity in the family? Will it go about and create vamsa vritti or vriddhi in the family? Will both of them be healthy? Very, very important. Will both of them be prosperous? Sir, why are we behind money? It is not that we are behind money, but they need to maintain a certain quality to the life, right? So how will they be financially? That is also important, which means, you know what? I can give money to my daughter. You can give money to your daughter. Will they be able to go about and safeguard it? Isn't that important, right? All of this does not apply to animals, but you need all of that, right? I have a big circle of relatives. I have a big family. Will she be able to adjust with the family? Will she be able to go about and take care of the family? Will she be able to get along with the family? Forget about taking care of the family. This obviously applies to the boy. For this, we need something to do with, you know what? Something to do with matching two horoscopes, sir. For this, we need something to do with matching two horoscopes, right? Which means there can be, you know, fate can be something which is there. But you know what? You are astrologers. It is just like going to a doctor. Anyways, he's going to die. So why do we need doctors? Anyways, this is going to happen. Why do we need lawyers? Which means what you can do for another person, which can actually be a guiding light, which can actually change the complete trajectory of the person's life from a positive standpoint of view. If there is something to do with a diversion of karma in a positive standpoint of view, or if there is something to do with the karma which has to fructify in a positive form, why can't you be the vehicle for that? Why can't it be that, you know what, you as an astrologer, somebody comes to you, somebody gets a match done through you, and their life is prosperous, they get good children, they are settled, that entire generation is indebted to you in some form or the other, irrespective of the fact that somewhere or the other it was written in that person's fate that they had to visit a good astrologer, they had to get a good match, and this is how their life had to be. Why can't you be that vehicle? This is the purpose we have all of that. And of course, the special scope of a human being is a human being means many possibilities, right? A human being means many possibilities, which means even if there is a scope which is limited, there is a lot of possibility for a human being, owing to his self-effort, owing to his buddhi, owing to his manobala. He can go about and divert, or he can go about and buffer and mitigate what is in store for him, which may be bad, right? So why can't you be the vessel? Which means marriage. Why do we combine two people? One, for vamsavritti. Two, for unity amongst themselves first and then the family. Arogya in the form of health, in the form of longevity. Both of them should live long, right? A prosperous life. and somebody who can take care of the khula, take care of the family. All of this is why we look into two horoscopes and we match horoscopes. This is the basic concept, right? Once you understand that, you will be more accountable. You would be more responsible. And once you are more responsible, you will find good teachers to guide you. And hope I am one of them. As I always tell all my students, every week is a test for me, not a test for you. This week, what you used, you have to apply. If it is correct, you be with me. If it is not correct, tata, bye-bye. That is how the relationship should be. Which means even if 1 week I go wrong, it's tata, bye-bye. You can give me tata, bye-bye, right? That is the confidence that I don't have in me, sir. I have the confidence in the practice. I have the confidence in the masters who taught me. I have the confidence in the masters who practice the art to utmost perfection, dazzling perfection, right? So once you get two horoscopes, first, do they have children? Is there putra bhagya, right? Will they be able to enjoy the sukhas of life, right? The sukhas in the form of good health first. The sukhas in the form of good amount of emotional well-being, mental well-being. Will they have house, property, land, vehicles? These are the sukhas to see their children grow up, their children get married, their children having children. All of this is sukha. Have good health. Right? All of this is something that you need to understand. Right? And will there be mutual love, mutual understanding, friendship? All of this is something that you need to keep in mind while judging two horoscopes. Right? And for this purpose was why, you had the Ashtakuta, you had the Dashavida Puruttam, right? Again, you need to understand 10 or 11 as far as Dashavida Purutta is concerned, right? So 10 out of 10 points, 11 out of 11 points, or 7. Some people say, above 7 is okay, above 8 is okay. But you need to understand, apart from looking at, the Dashavida Purutta, you obviously also need to look into the horoscope as well. Because if something to do with matching, using the nakshatras and using the Rashi is going to go about and contribute to a 50%, the horoscope again is going to contribute to a 50%. Which means this is also important, that is also important. And when you are judging both of them, you need to judge whether there is a Putra Yoga, whether there is Arogya, whether there is something to do with, goodness in the family, good relationship in the family, prosperity. All of this is something that needs to be looked into. Again, the focus here should be what? Different people are differently abled. Different people have different capacities. So here, more than telling you can match this, you cannot match this, you should be able to tell the capabilities of a person. See, as I told you in the example before, it is nothing wrong in getting your daughter married to a person who is just doing worship, just doing pujas and homas, right? I'm not talking about a priest, but who's doing this throughout without going for a job. But you need to understand what you want for your daughter. What does your daughter want? That is what you need to understand. Which means everybody is differently capable. You could find an alliance for your daughter or for your son. And the only ambition that this person would have is, I should be in work always. I should earn money. Life is work, work is life. This is one type of a person. So do you want that type of a person? Yes, go ahead with that. Now, there are people who are like, work is not everything in life. There should be a balance in life. This much of money is enough for me. My family, my wife, my child, right? This is how family should be. So they are not really interested about work. They are not really interested about saving money. Whatever comes today is fine. Tomorrow, God will take care. So that is one type of alliance. There are some people, it is really not about, work. It is about position, power. In my life, I should have power. In my life, I should become this counselor. I'm a counselor. I should maintain this position. For this, I'm ready to give any money that I want. This is one kind of a person. So you would get various kinds of people. So it is not about saying whether it is right or wrong. Okay. It is about saying this is the quality of this person. So if you like this quality in a person, go ahead. This is what you would get, right? That is why, we had this community system, caste system, or whatever you call it, because you know what, there is some form of, a wavelength which actually goes about and connects, right? One politician will get married to another politician, right? Politician's daughter, they will give to a politician's son, right? Because there is some form of a wavelength here, right? One businessman will give his daughter to another businessman. There is some form of a wavelength. So it is also about accessing or being able to assess that wavelength. Which means today it is like this, tomorrow how will it be? So you should be able to go about and assess that. So how do we assess that, sir? Point number 1. Start. Let's start the session. Point number 1. Point number 1. For each and every nakshatra, right, there is a male animal assigned and a female animal assigned. Write it down as I'm telling, right? For each nakshatra, there is a male animal assigned, a female animal assigned, a male yoni assigned, a female yoni assigned. A male yoni, a female yoni. Now some people confuse it as, one, nakshatras have animals separately, yoni separately. Now we are intermingling both the yoni and the animal, right? So the first thing that you need to look into a horoscope is look at Poruttam in Tamil, or you can use the word Milan in the North India, or matching. You just use the word matching. That's it, right? So the first thing that you need to look into when you get the birth horoscope is what? You need to look into the yoni. And where do you need to start looking at the yoni from? Should it be from the boys nakshatra, or should it be from the girls nakshatra? It should be from the girls nakshatra. You should start with the girls nakshatra. Please write it down. So when you are matching two horoscopes, please write down as I say, right? You should look into the yoni. You should look into the yoni, whether the yoni is a male yoni and a female yoni. And you should start with the girl's horoscope or the girl's nakshatra. Right? Which means always, not just for yoni, for any form of a matching, you always start with a girl's horoscope. Next, when you combine two horoscopes, when you match two horoscopes, why are you matching two horoscopes? Obviously, to proceed with a marriage. Right? The two people should have different yonis. When I say different yonis, we are talking about the gender here. Which means what? I have, let's say I'm a boy, I have a male yoni, right? So if somebody is going to match my horoscope with some other girl, right? First of all, my wife will beat me. But still, anyways, let's say somebody else. Okay. So there is a boy. He should have a yoni of one gender. Then the other person, the girl, she should have a yoni of another gender. So both the gender should be different. Please underline the word. I'm not talking about the animal here. We will get into the animal later on. We're talking about the yoni should be different. The gender of the yoni should be different. Right. If a male member or if a male has a male yoni, good. If a female has a female yoni, good. Right? Which means I'm a boy, I have a male yoni, good. If a female, there's a girl, she has a female yoni, good. Right? As per the nakshatra. But irrespective of it, both the genders of the yoni should be different. Right? When you match a horoscope, this is very, 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 very important rule. Okay. See, they say yoni. Yoni means what? Something to do with the sexual compatibility, sir. Why sexual compatibility? Maybe for children, sir. So if the fifth bhava is strong, why look into all of that? Sir, this is where we fail. Right? Again and again, I'm repeating, I'm going order by order. Whatever is first, second, third, fourth, I'm sharing with you. So you just need to follow my template. That's it. You'll be an astrologer. Right? So If both of them have the same yoni, which means both of them have the same gender, irrespective of fifth bhava, irrespective of guru, it has to impact the child. Right? It has to impact the child. So, boy, girl, both of them are having male yoni, minus. Boy, girl, both of them are having a female yoni, minus. Now, you may ask this question, sir, like this, we've been living for ages. Now, suddenly you are coming and starting with yoni puratam. You look at my horoscope, sir. I'm having male yoni. My wife is also male yoni. I've lived so long. 14 years, 15 years have passed. We are still married. That is fine. What happened to your children? Which means there are so many times when, as astrologers, you're not able to find a reason to a certain problem, right? Why is my son like this? Why is my daughter like this? Why is he not ready to get married? Why is his married life like this? He has achieved so much. He has earned this much of money. He has been a wonderful student. Everything is matching. Every horoscope, every astrologer who I'm going to is saying that, you know what? The GOCHARA, this is the time when he is having Guru Bala, or she is having Guru Bala. She should get married. But again and again, he is missing marriage. Again and again, she is missing marriage. She's not interested in marriage at all. Then you know what you need to do? You don't need to look into her horoscope or the boy's horoscope. First, you look into your horoscope and your wife's horoscope. Both of you would be having the same yoni. Right? So all that I'm presenting to you is purely based on experiential learning. Years and years of practice, years and years of gathering dhyan, years and years of applying dhyan, I'm giving this to you. Right? So yoni is extremely important. Right? Example, right now, one example. Of course, we are going to get into detail into this. Somebody has a Ashwini Nakshatra. A boy has a Ashwini Nakshatra. What is the yoni for Ashwini Nakshatra? It is a male horse. Right? So automatically he gets married to a Bharani Nakshatra girl. It is fine. Right? It is the second Nakshatra. So if you look at the Tara Balam, good, go ahead. Right? Horoscope is also matching. You went to the best of astrologers in the town, right? TV astrologers, famous astrologers, right? Matched. Then, what is Bharani Nakshatra? Bharani, again, is what? A male elephant. Remember, I told you it is not about the animal here. It is about the gender of the animal. You are matching a male with a male. Then, automatically, it will create frictions. It will create problems. It will create problems pertaining to childbirth, or it will impact the child. What do you mean by impact the child? I got a child. He is not settled in life. He is not wanting to get married. And, there are so many things, right, with the children, which means the child is not able to go to that next level and he is not ready to, or he is not having a child. He is having a problem pertaining to a child. This is he or she, by the way, right? So it should be different. The gender of the yoni should definitely be different. So what is this new thing that you're telling, sir? Throughout ages, we've been doing this. My papa, my mama, they are also same yoni, same gender. Haven't we lived? Sir, this is a rule. When you get a rule, this is what we used to do. When we get a rule, and when we always found it contradictory also, we respected our teachers. That is the only reason we are sticking in this field till date. Whatever the teacher says, we would blindly abide by it. Which means what? What has happened? If his life is good, if he is collector, if he is president, if he is MLA, all of that is fine. What happened to his children? What happens to the children's children? The moment you get into that, oh my God, what a great teacher he was. Right? That time you would be scolding your teacher. But then once you realize how rules work beyond time, that time immediately you would be grateful to your teachers. Why? Because this is a rule which I've applied and this does affect the children a lot. What type of effect? The child is not getting married. He does not want to get married. He is not interested in marriage itself, right? Or he got married and they got divorced, right? You will be scratching your head, right? Because You would have gone to the best astrologers in town, or your family astrologer who actually is able to almost pinpoint each and every event in your life, forward, backward. But somehow he did not look into this, because he just looked into the birth chart. He just looked into the nakshatra Purutta as per Tarabala, or as per Dashavida Purutta, as per what? Yoni was missing. That is not a great deal, right? Because this boy is earning, he's of good character. Again, the 5th bhava is strong, Guru is strong. 7th bhava is strong. How will they break up? So this small miss automatically would cost. Where in your horoscope, not in their horoscope, in your horoscope, right? You and your wife would be having the same yoni in the form of gender. Again, both are married, but they are still not having a child. So it is about Vamsa Vriddhi again, right? So when you look into the horoscope next time, and when you are matching the horoscope next time, please keep an attention on this. Then after that, you get into the horoscope. Then after that, you get into the Tarabala. Of course, all of this is going to be taught to you. Then after that, you predict about Kuja dosha, Rahu Ketu dosha, Sarpa dosha. All of that is fine. First, you start with this, right? Because I'm teaching you in a structured form. So you follow the structure and you will be a success. You don't have to worry, because we're going to study little by little, step by step. Don't worry. The idea is you should digest all the information. One day where you get all the information, you put it in the stomach. The next day, you have to take it from your stomach and then chew it in the mouth, just like how the cow does, right? So it should be slow and steady, which means usually, when we learn so many things from so many sources, what happens is, oh, this is not like that. That is not like that. No, this concept is like that. Then what about dosha samyam? All of that will come. But this is it. This is the way it is. Once you stick on with this, automatically, it is not just about matching horoscopes. You will be able to go about and navigate in so many different ways just using this technique. So what do you mean by that? That you would shortly know in this class itself. How by just using yoni, you can come up with beautiful predictions. Forget about marriage. You can predict about so many different things itself, right? The only thing that you need to do is, once a rule is being discussed, yes, this is a rule. It is correct. I should use it. That type of belief is something that you should have. So somebody is telling you, don't touch this electric fence. Danger, right? You go and touch that electric fence. There is no electric shock. So what would you say? So what is this? There's no electric shock in the electric fence. But when somebody is telling electric fence, don't touch it, danger, it means someday or the other, there's a possibility for somebody who touches it to get electrocuted. So once you realize that, don't touch it, that is more than enough, you are saved. But the moment you come into this conclusion, no, it did not work out. How can it work out? How will it work out? Isn't this important? Isn't that important? That is where, you won't realize it today, sir. After this person gets married, when they have a problem, which means what? It's late. You cannot do anything about it. That is when you would realize it, right? Same way it also applies to certain nakshatras. See, when we talk about, certain nakshatras should not be combined with this nakshatra, first you get that rule in your head. Of course, I would be telling you that. First, you should be stuck up on a few things in life. You should not actually go about and be flexible about certain things. So if somebody is telling that, this nakshatra should not be combined with this nakshatra, stick on with that. Don't change it. Don't say that, no, even though the nakshatra cannot be combined in the Rashi chakra, don't get it. First you finish this, then you go there. What I'm trying to do here is, somewhere a huge fraternity of astrologers have moved away from what we call as Gunmilan, Dashavida Puruttam, and they're just focusing on what? The birth horoscope. No. First tick mark has to happen here, and in a proper manner. Not that you just go to a computer, you type in both the birth details, then the score is 7 out of 10, 7 out of 6 out of 10 or 11, and you proceed with it. No. What is the concept here? What does each of it mean? What is required? What is not required? Then you move on to the Rashi chakra and the Navamsha chakra. That is the way it should be. Right. So now what I want you to do is, I'm going to just connect the iPad right away. Right. But before that, I want you to draw a big Rashi Chakra. A big Rashi Chakra with 12 boxes, right from Mesha to Meena, right? Big Rashi Chakra because you're going to be writing inside the boxes, right? I will just connect the iPad. Just give me 1 second. Meanwhile, I'll just get some water and come, right? Just give me 1 second. So all of you draw a big size Rashi Chakra. I'm just connecting the Mac to iPad. Yeah. So it's visible now. Okay. So draw a big Rashi Chakra for people in the northern part of India. As long as you understand the Rashi, it is enough, right? Try to follow the standard South Indian version. If it is difficult for you, I'm always there to help you out. Don't worry, you can just ping me anytime, right? But I would be telling Mesha, Rishabha, Mithuna, so you don't have to worry about it, right? So for each nakshatra, now what we are going to write is we are going to write the yoni. And along with that, I'm going to also teach you some magic tricks, right? So many magic tricks that you wouldn't have imagined that, you know what, was available, right? All these magic tricks are going to come to you today, right? Which means here, let's start with Mesha Rashi, right? Let's start first with Mesha Rashi. So I'm just going to expand the screen here and I'm going to start writing so that it is easier to fill. So start first with Ashwini Nakshatra, right? Ashwini. If you cannot write the full name, it is okay, right? Ashwini is male, just putting male, horse. Please write male horse, right? Next you put Bharani, right? Male elephant. So how many males do we already have in Ashwini? How many males do we already have in Mesha Rashi? Already we have 2 males. Keep this in mind. Then we have Kartikeya in Tamil, or what is called as Kritika Nakshatra, right? So I will write it as Kritika, right? Female goat, right? So one is we are going through marriage matching, but how, what are the different ways, the ingenious ways in which you can actually also go about and use it to predict, not just for marriage, from where this person will come, how this person will be. All of this are hidden in so many simple, basic rules that is right in front of you. But somehow you fail to understand them, or somehow you fail to look at them because you look lowly at them. That is why automatically you miss out on some big predictions. Big predictions are made using small things. That is how our ancestors, our forefathers did. So why are you not getting back to that? Right. So now you have Mesha Rashi, sir. In this, you have a male horse, Ashwini, male elephant, Bharani, female goat, which is Kritika. So this Mesha Rashi is dominated by men or women. Who is it dominated by? You have 2 males here, right? So who are dominant here, right? I'm not talking about male Rashi, female Rashi. Forget that. We are in Yoni now, right? So here, the dominance is in male. So the members in this household, the dominating factor here would be from the men. There would be more men. There would be dominance from the men here. The men will rule over this house, right? Now here you need to understand, let's say your 4th Bhava Lord, right? The 4th Bhava Lord, which indicates what? Your house, your property. Let's say it is in Ashwini Nakshatra. I'm not even talking about Mesha Rashi. Let's say it is in Ashwini Nakshatra. Then you will buy a house, you will buy a property, you will buy a car, you will buy a bike. From whom? Will it be from a male or will it be from a female, sir? It will be from a male. Right? You will buy a house from a male. Right? Next, let us say Mars or Kuja or Mangala, who also indicates what? Who indicates property. right? So now, if Mars is sitting in Ashwini Nakshatra, again, who will you buy your property from? You will buy your property from a male. Now, let's say the fourth Bhava Lord, because see, the challenge in astrology is I will teach you one rule. When you get a horoscope, the rule and what is there in the horoscope won't match, right? So now, just in order to go about and get you ready for that as well, now you get a horoscope. The fourth Bhava Lord is in Ashwini Nakshatra, but Mars, Mangala, Kuja is in Kritika Nakshatra. So now who will I buy my house from? Is it male or a female? Sir, they would be joint holders. How beautifully it would be when you predict, sir, you bought a house. This house was registered on a male's name and a female's name, and you bought this house. Correct, sir? Yes, sir. Shake hands. This is the way you need to actually go about and predict. This is the way you should actually go about and stun people around you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. If you make a mistake, then there is another rule. That is the only way you should look at it, right? Which means Mesha Rashi. Here, it is dominated by males, which means whichever household, let's say the seventh Bhava Lord is in Mesha Rashi. Let's say the seventh Bhava Lord is in Ashwini Nakshatra, is in Bharani Nakshatra. You will go to a household where there are more men than women, right? So now you should understand, sir, what yoni, sir? Now you should understand, oh my God, in this yoni there are so many things hidden. This is the way it is. This is the way people made predictions. They went about and made predictions years and years and years ago. They came, they went, and it was forgotten. Now it is being reintroduced to all of you, and that's the reason I want you to apply, I want you to teach. But before you teach, first you need to experience this elixir. Then only you would be able to teach, right? So here you need to look. 2 men, 1 lady here, right? Which means what? This is a Rashi which indicates something to do with men, dominance of men. Again, we are subdividing it. Who are the male? Who are the female? Right? Which means this can be used for multiple things. Multiple things. It can be used for, you know what? 1, as I told you. Let's say the 7th Bhava Lord is in Mesha. Right? Automatically, you can say, you know what? There would be men in the house. Men would be heading the house. They would be the head of the household. There would be more men in the family. All of this is something that you can tell. Let's say you have a MAANDI, right? MAANDI in Kritika Nakshatra. Then automatically you should be able to predict Kritika, female yoni, right? So in this family, was there a girl who was born and she died early? The answer would be a yes. See, sir, you need to understand one very important thing here. See, it is not just yoni in the form of, you know what, classifying everything based on animals. See, each of us has a certain quality, a certain guna, right? Again, it is not just about a guna alone that actually goes about and directs our life. We like doing certain activities, right? Some people like sports, some people like reading, some people like... Everybody is different in their own ways. Everybody is unique. So now, this uniqueness in every person or a set of individuals was collected or collated. And what are the animals? You know, what are the animals? What are the specific animals which have these gunas, which have these qualities? Now, you can just imagine to what extent, you know, some of our rishis went, wherein, you know, they could actually go about and collect the qualities of a person or a group of people and go about and connect it with, you know, animals. Again, you're telling male and female. That means, you know what? A male lion will behave differently. A female lioness will behave differently. Look at, you know, to the extent to which they went. Which means this person has this type of gunas. He will get into this type of acts or activities, right? And this animal has the same guna. Which means what you need to do now, sir? Only thing you need to do is you need to watch Discovery Channel. You need to watch National Geographic. Which means what? Horse. Male horse. What is the guna? Sir, Nakshatra Siddhanta is a big topic. It's a huge topic by itself. Nobody can teach you Nakshatra Siddhanta easily. Right in the southern part of India, there are people who have been dissecting just one book for years and years and ages together. Some people have spent their entire life on that book. Still, they are just able to understand, you know what? A few tidbits here and there before their death. Right? This is a text which is called as Kumara Samya. Right? People say that, a lot of people teach that. But I don't know, how far they can go with teaching that book. Which means a lot of things are hidden based on these little things which are being taught to you here. Which means sometimes when somebody says a person who is born in this nakshatra, in this degree, he will get married in this age, he will do this, he will do that. Somewhere the linkages are coming in forms like this. Which means horse. How long does a horse live? What happens to a horse? What is the behavior of a horse? What is the behavior of a male horse vis-a-vis female horse? Right? All this will be somehow connected with this person. Right? It does not mean that, you evolved from that horse, you evolved from that elephant. No, it is just your characteristic, and somehow each and everything would match with that animal. So the more and more you learn the gunas of each animal, instead of watching, stupid serials and movies, if you could actually even devote your time to animals, sir. Each and every animal that I'm telling you, that is the avenue to go about and understand the nakshatra, right? Which means as of now, Ashwini nakshatra, you will know 2 or 3 points. Ashwini nakshatra, Ashwini Kumaras, horse, all of that. But the more and more you understand the qualities, the traits of each of these animals, you would be able to come with 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 points associated with this person's life itself. Right? Which means, let's say, somebody has a Graha in Ashwini Nakshatra, Guru in Ashwini Nakshatra. Immediately you can ask them this question. Have you been to the Arabian Peninsula? Or at least have you been near the Arabian Sea, or do you live near the Arabian Sea? The answer will be a yes. Have you ever tried learning, or have you ever had an inclination to learn Arabic? The answer would be a yes. See, I'm trying to, I'm not saying everything is going to match, but somewhere or the other, there would be matches, right? Which means what? Sir, what is the connection between Ashwini and Arabia now? Why are you straight away jumping to Arabia? It's a horse. Which horse is famous, sir? Arabian horse. The moment when you talk about horses, you talk about Arabian horses. So you have to fit everything, See, you need to understand everybody is a rishi. You are a rishi, sir. I am a rishi, whoever, it does not mean that you have to go to the Himalayas. It does not mean that, you need to be sitting near the Ganges, meditating and something will come to you. Sir, whatever is in front of you, you contemplate on that. You are a jnani. You are a wise man. Why don't you understand that? You all have that same wisdom, same energy that, somebody who's sitting near the Himalayas has. The only thing is you need to look at it in a very simple way. You don't have to complicate things. So try it. Tell. Right? Which means, have you been to Arabia? Have you been to the Saudi Arabia or the UAE? Or have you learned Arabic? Are you, do you have friends who are Muslims? Right? Do you have friends who are in the UAE or Dubai? Right? All of this would automatically go about and match, which means how much ever gunas that you are able to connect or collect from a horse, immediately you can actually start applying to what? Ashwini Nakshatra. That's it, sir. You've become an astrologer. You're able to predict 5-10 points at least. Right? Which means, I'm collecting all of this one by one. Of course, I would be sharing that to you, but, it would take some time because first I need to actually go about and groom you to become good professional astrologers. All right. So now we have covered Rashi. Let's move to Rishabha, sir. Right. So in Rishabha, Kritika continues, right? So you have Kritika Nakshatra. Right. And Kritika indicates a female goat. Please write down Rohini Nakshatra. What does Rohini indicate? It indicates a male cobra or Naga. Male Naga. Then you have Mrigashira Nakshatra, or what is called as Mirhasaridam in Tamil, which is a female rat snake. Snake, basically, female snake, right? It's not a cobra, it's not a nag, right? So now, what do we have here? In Rishabha, how many males, how many females? Now, we are not getting into this concept of male Rashi, female Rashi here. We are going about with the concept of Yoni, right? So here in Rishabha, right, who will have dominance? Naturally, if you've learned astrology at a basic level itself, all of you are intermediate to higher astrologers, right? So automatically the dominance would be women, right? That is what we discussed in the Rashi KARAKATHWA course. Ladies hostel, Rishabha Rashi, where there are many women, where there are many ladies, right? So let's say Ashtamadibadi. See, we are in the marriage matching course, but at the same time, I'm telling you different ways to look at this, right? Ashtamadibadi, let's say somebody is going through the Ashtamadibadi's dasha. Now this happened, this is a real-time prediction, okay? Somebody was going through the Ashtamadibadi's dasha, right? And in Mesha, right? Ashtamadibadi Lord was there, right? So you can actually go about the way the prediction went about was, sir, you were riding a bike. In that bike, there were 3 people. Ashtamadibadi, you fell down. Who were the 3 people? There were 2 male members and there was 1 girl. Correct. This is the way you should actually go about and refine your prediction. Sir, but how do I go that far? You try, you fail, you try, you fail. Again, most of the time, as long as you're traveling with me, you will try and you will succeed. Little bit here and there, you may miss out. But this is a way to predict. This is what I'm telling you, right? Which means, I went to this house. There were so many people. There were 2 females and 1 male. Sir, Rishabha Veed, Rishabha house, right? Rishabha Rashi, right? So like this, you should be able to go about and gauge, right? So I'm just giving you additional information here. Next, let's go to Mithuna, right? Let's go to Mithuna Rashi. So what do we have in Mithuna Rashi? You have the Mrigashira Nakshatra, which continues. Just writing in short form. If you want, you can write in short form as long as you remember it, which is again a female rat snake. Female. That's the point here that you need to understand, right? Then you have Ardra, which is referred to as Tiruvadare in Tamil, which is male dog, right? Then you have Punarpusam in Tamil, which is also called as Punarvasu, which is a female cat, right? You have a female. So now who is dominating this house? You have 1, 2 females here and 1 male right in between, right? Automatically something to do with, what? A female dominance here would be indicated. You would see some people, they would say that, what? Sir, my life is caught up between these 2 women. My life is caught up between my mother and my wife. Sir, are you Tiruvadari? Are you Ardra Nakshatra? Yes. Why? Because it is caught up between 2 women here. Right? Simple ways, sir, how you can actually go about and make to the point, accurate, sure, short prediction. Which means here, the dominance is more. The dominance is more pertaining to whom? The dominance is more pertaining to a female. I'll give you one incident. There's a problem happening in a marriage. Big problem happening in a marriage. Right? This person was living, I think he's still living, right? In the Americas. Right? One side, the wife is pestering him. The other side, his mother is pestering him, right? You know what this person used to do, right? Now he cannot do anything to his wife because the laws, because he is already legally told that, you know what, whatever your share is, you take and you go. I'm not going to interfere. But somewhere or the other, the wife is instigating him. Obviously, you know, she has her own reasons, valid reasons. You know, why are you doing this after so many years of marriage? Right? Why do you want to leave like this? Somehow he says, you know, no, I cannot get along with you. Right? Now, the wife is going on instigating him. But he is very, very careful because the laws in the Americas are very, very strict, right? If you do something, immediately, you know what, the police, they're going to come, right? So what he used to do is, he has a dog, a pet dog, right? And he used to take the dog inside the room and just, you know, sleep along with the dog. Just shut the room. Tiruvadare Nakshatra. There'd be big dog lovers, right? Automatically something to do with cat. Remember in the RASHI KARAKATHWA course, I spoke about cats. What is the basis of that here? The basis of that is yoni. The basis of that is yoni here, right? So here, let's get into the next level now, right? So here, what happens in Mithuna? The dominance of women are more, right? Now, let's consider Kritika Nakshatra, right? You have Kritika Nakshatra, which is a female goat, right? You have Kritika Nakshatra. No, let me cover the next thing, then you will be able to understand better. Okay, let's go to Kataka Rashi, right? Fill in Kataka Rashi first. So you have Punarvasu, which continues, or Punarpusam, right, sir? Which is what? Female cat. Right, sir? And you have Pushya Nakshatra, which is also referred to as Pusam in Tamil, right? Which is a male goat, right? And then you have Ashlesha Nakshatra or Ashlesha Nakshatra, which is also referred to as Ailyam. For all your convenience, I will write it as She. Which is a male cat, right? So you have a male cat. Now, sir, now let's get into the next concept here, right? Let's say, you know what? Let's say you have a person who has a Punarvasu or Punarvasu, Punarpusam as a nakshatra. What is the yoni? The yoni is a female cat. Now this person comes and asks, sir, I want to get married. It could be a boy or it could be a girl, right? Now, what can you predict just based on the yoni? Female cat is here, right, sir? Male cat is also here. They are in the same Rashi, right? So where will the alliance come from? It will be nearby, sir. 10, 15, 20, 30 kilometers. Who knows? You open the window itself, the alliance would be there somewhere. Which means here, both the female cat and the male cat are together here. Which automatically means what? The alliance is nearby. You will get an alliance from nearby place. It will be within 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers. Again, you can use the same rule for Kritika Nakshatra also. What? Female goat, male goat, right? You don't have to think it is very far here. It is in the same mandala, right? Which is the Mesha mandala. Right? It is nearby. Again, nearby your place, in your local area, in your city, in your town, somebody who's known to you, somebody who's introduced by your family member, somebody who comes from the family circle. This will be your alliance. right? Why? Because here, what is the distance here? Distance is limited. What is the distance here? Again, the distance is limited. So now you should understand, sir. Sir, nobody is going to go this far and teach you. Because you would be scratching your head. Sir, I didn't read in the classic about, how many kilometers I would get my wife from, how many kilometers I will get my husband from. But how did my Uncle G's, my grandfather G's, my great-grandfather G's astrologer predict that, you will get married to a girl in your local area. You will get married to a relative. You will get married to, somebody in your friend circle. You will get a wife. You have Nadi astrology where, we in Vaidishwaran Koil, somebody tells you, just by looking at your thumb impression, you will get a wife near this side, near that side. She will be near the well. How did they do that? They just used these simple rules. It's as simple as that. And this is the way you ideally need to go about and predict. Right? Which means what? Automatically, you just need to look into the distance here. Of course, I would be covering all of this one by one here. The only thing here is you need to give the time and attention. See, sir, I'm not telling everything has to come accurately. I'm not telling you that. Okay. Maximum this would happen, which means at least you can take this liberty to ask a person who has a Punarvasu Nakshatra or an Ashilesha Nakshatra that did you get an alliance within your family circle, amongst your family circle, in your local area? Yes, sir, there was an alliance which came. At least that will come out from their mouth. This is the minimum guarantee I'm giving you, right? This has to happen, right? Which means, nearby there was one alliance which came. There was a boy who came. Somehow we declined that and we went for something else. At least this has to come. But without this coming, remember, the reason I'm telling you this is, whenever I found a good teacher who taught me, even if the rule did not work out, I did not give up on the teacher. That's the reason I'm sitting and talking to you. I did not give up on that rule, which means even if that rule did not work out, I will investigate my client. I will ask my customer, sir, but did this happen? Did that happen? That is when you would understand, okay, this rule works. Tick mark. Now we can teach. This is how it happens, right? So you should at least take that initiative to ask a person who's born in Kritika Nakshatra, Punarvasu Nakshatra, Ailya Nakshatra, right? Did an alliance come from nearby? Right? This is a way. I'm just giving you one rule here. Now you can connect it. Because see here, a female rat snake has to get married to a male cobra because there is no, in the yoni system or in the yoni, there is no male snake here. So only a cobra is available. So again, I'm just giving you the concept here. So please just understand the concept. Once you take the concept, you can play your own games with it. Right? You can play your own games and you can start teaching me. That is what I want all of you, right? So let's say somebody has a Kadaka Lagna for people in the northern part of India. The 7th Bhava Lord is in Kadaka Lagna, or Mars for a girl, Venus for a boy is in Kadaka Lagna. Then immediately you should get into this habit of telling, forget about, what yoni it is. Immediately forget about which animal it is, Kadaka, which means local area, native place, own soil. Did somebody come from your own place, from your local, known person, a person who's introduced to you, or at least did you like this person? All of this has to be a yes. Somewhere or the other, this has to be a yes. Which means, was it known to you? Relative circle, relationship, all of that will be a yes. Right? Or somebody who was already known to me. Right? We both studied together, sir. 12th standard, we studied together. Till 12th, all this will come. Right? So you should look at different ways as to how you can span out. Right? So what I'm doing here is I'm teaching you the rules. Don't worry about that. But I'm also teaching you ways to think differently. Right? Think differently. And this is the way that you think differently. Not that you imagine your own stories. Don't get into the story mode. How do I think differently in order to come into point blank prediction? That is how you should groom yourself as an astrologer. Right? I want you all to sit in these TV channels, big channels, and give to the point predictions. That is what I want all of you to do. Right? Next, let's move on to Simha Rashi, sir. Simha Rashi, you have First, what do you have? Maga Nakshatra. Magam, Tamil, right? What is it? Male rat. Next, you have Purva Falguni Nakshatra. What is it? Female rat. So now you understood the concept, so you can apply now, right? Next, you have Uttira Falguni Nakshatra, or Uttiram in Tamil, right? Bull, which means what? Male cow, bull, right? So automatically, what do we have? Here we have 1, 2 male. So here the dominance is male here, not female. Here it is the opposite. A female is caught between 2 men in the household. One would be the father, another would be the husband. One would be the father-in-law, other would be the husband. This would be the way it is. Again, you need to apply this immediate concept that I told you. If it is Simha Lagna, then automatically we can also apply another concept. Another concept here. Let's say you combine a person, or you agree for, or you actually go about and subscribe to the fact that, you know what, 2 people, one person who has a Mesha Lagna and the other person who has a what? Simha Lagna, get married, then what progeny would they get? You know, what gender would be the progeny? The possibility of a male progeny is high, because in both these houses, there is a dominance of men. Now you understand, sir. You know, a student was asking me, sir, how do we predict whether it is a boy or a girl? Right? So there are various ways. You know, immediately don't get into the divisional charts. Right? Immediately don't get into the divisional charts and get into, you know, the complexities of it. It is right here in front of you. After that, you get into the conformational factors in the divisional charts. I will get into that later on. First, you understand the Rashi chart, left, right, up, down, top, bottom, center, sir. The rest of it will just naturally come to you. Everything is hidden here. All the secrets are hidden right here. But the reason you just jump right into the PhD program is why you all fail. So please don't jump into PhDs. Be here, right? The more and more you actually go about and get into what is right in front of you. And I'm very, very careful not about using this word basic. Why? Because I'm guaranteeing you, even if you're a seasoned astrologer practicing for 7-8 years, still, whatever word I'm uttering will be a shock to you, will be an astonishment to you, because this is something that you already know, but you did not apply. That is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So apply it. Which means, why go that far? You know, why go that far and look into, you know what, the divisional charts? I have it right here. Mesha Lagna, Simha Lagna, both of you combine, who will you get? You will get a boy. Where will you get a girl? That's it. Simple. Right? It's purely based on the yoni here. It's not based on female Rashi or male Rashi that I'm looking at here. Right? Which means there are different ways as to how you can actually go about and use all of this. Right? And this is what was followed in the old days, sir. This is what was followed by astrologers, our forefathers, our ancestors who practiced astrology. Somewhere they did not have Zoom coaching. They did not have Zoom available during that time, right? Or maybe the internet connection was weak during that time. So they did not teach you, but now somebody is teaching you. So at least make use of it. So here, if you look at Simha Rashi, what do we have? We have what? We have a male rat. We have a female rat. So if somebody is coming with a horoscope, so my daughter, my son, immediately when you see this, Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna, automatically give preference to the Lagna first, right? Then you can also take the Rashi. Don't worry, because any which ways we are talking about matching as per nakshatra, right? Automatically you can say, see, it would be within the family circle. Or if this person's father asks you, sir, can I get my daughter married within the family circle? The question can also be that way, which means where he has already decided who it is. Then you can say yes. For Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna, yes, you can get married within the family. They will be good. They will be able to gel together with each other well. They will be able to adjust with each other well. They will be able to go about and give good progeny. They would be able to go about and give what you desire as far as your kula is concerned, or your desire is concerned, or whatever their desire is concerned. Which means what? Getting married amongst the family circle is allowed, right? It's based on this rule, right? Again, somebody will ask, will I get amongst my family circle? This person's this son, this person's this daughter. We are thinking, should we consider? The answer is yes, you will get, right? Next is Kanya Rashi. Let's move to Kanya Rashi. So Uttiram or Uttara Falguni Nakshatra continues here. Which is male cow, or you can put it as bull for you to understand it better. That's what it is. Right? And you have Hastam or Hasta Nakshatra, which is female buffalo. Right? And then you have Chitra Nakshatra, which is what? Which is a male tiger. I just wanted to confirm. Right. So now you have two males. If you go as per the Kala Purusha, what would they tell you? Simha Rashi, it's a male sign. So Kanya Rashi. Kanya Rashi itself, it indicates women, by the way. So immediately they would say what? It is a Rashi ruled by Mercury, Buddha. It is a female sign. All of that is correct. I'm not denying it. But here also you need to keep this in mind. Here, who has the dominance here? It is not the female. It is the male who has the dominance here. Right? Which means here you have a male cow or a bull and a male tiger. And in between, who do you have? You have a female buffalo. Right? Next. So Chitra would continue here. And who do we have? We have a male tiger. Right? Next, you would have Swati Nakshatra. Right? This would be a male buffalo. Right? And then you have Vishaga Nakshatra. Right? Which is female tiger. Right? Sir, female and male are the same Rashi. So same. Now I have already given you the concept. Right? Again, who dominates Tula Rashi now? Male dominates the Tula Rashi. Right? In their family, the men would be dominating. The importance would be given to men. All of these are the finer points. Right? Which means, if the fifth Bhava Lord, where is the fifth Bhava Lord? In which Nakshatra is the fifth Bhava Lord? Which yoni does it signify? This can actually go about and give you so many easy, clear-cut, quick, short answers. Right? Let's say somebody has the fifth Bhava Lord. Right? Let's say, as per his Lagna, his fifth Bhava Lord is in Chitra Nakshatra, tick mark Chitra Nakshatra. And let's say Guru is in Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, tick mark Guru. Now, do I have to think so much to tell that, they will have a male or a female progeny? It is so well understood that, they would have a male progeny. So why are you breaking your head so much? This is my earnest request to all you practicing astrologers. It's an easy way. It's a simple way. It's a non-complicated way. And perhaps it was because it is simple that you wanted to complicate everything in life to prove your prowess that, you fail to understand these finer little concepts. Okay. So now move to Vishaka Nakshatra. What is it? Right. You have the female tiger again. Right. Anuradha Nakshatra. Right. You have a female deer. Right. And you have Jeshta. which is called as Kettai in Tamil, Tirukettai in Malayalam. This is male deer. See, sir, female and male deer, both of them are together, right? Female deer, male deer, both of them are just together, which means Vrishchaka Rashi, Vrishchaka Lagna, within the family circle, known circle, right? They will get married, right? Which means they can actually go about and initiate things within their own circle, and that will automatically be successful. Or somebody who they like also, that will also be successful, right? Next is Dhanusha Rashi or Dhanu Rashi, which is what? Starts with Moola Nakshatra, which is male dog. Purvashada Nakshatra, male monkey. Now be careful here. See, I'm teaching you with a purpose. I'm telling you the logic behind it. Again, remember, after learning all this, don't go to your clients. Please don't go to your family members and don't tell that, you know what, you're like a dog, you're like a snake, you're like a cobra. No, don't do that. Why? Because my astrologer told me. Don't. Right? So you should know what to talk, when to talk. Otherwise, you're not an astrologer. You have a certain gunas, which is the animal that resonates with the guna. This is the way you should be. Right? So don't get me into trouble. Right? Next. Uttarashada Nakshatra. Right? You have a sterile cow. Sterile cow, is it male or female? It is male. Very important rules. Very important. Right? See, now what you need to understand here is, let's say you are seeing the horoscope front to back, top to bottom. Still, you are not able to predict whether there is a child or not. Suddenly, your mind should strike Lagna in Uttarashada Nakshatra, Chandra in Uttarashada Nakshatra, sterile cow. Sterile means what? I can use the word barren, but since we are not talking about a female here, sterile means what? Incapable of giving you a child, right? Automatically, your mind should go there, right? Everything will be perfect in the horoscope, right? But then you would find that, what is missing? Why is this person not having a child? Then you just look at it, you would automatically get an answer. Now, the immediate question is, sir, I have Uttarashada Nakshatra, or, I have my Lagna in Uttarashada Nakshatra. I have 5 children. No, it is not for everybody. What I'm telling is, this is also a sub rule, right? A uppa rule, right? In order to go about and understand, okay, this is the way it did not work. So you should be careful the next time you match horoscope. Let's say, you see that in a horoscope already something to do with childbirth is complicated, and somebody has this combination, Lagna in Uttarashada Nakshatra, the 5th Bhava Lord in Uttarashada Nakshatra, right? Automatically you would, or let's say Guru in Uttarashada Nakshatra, they may not be getting a child. You'd be wondering, what is this Guru in its own house, in its own Moola Trikona house? What is not happening? Then you need to apply this rule. Again, apply all this judiciously. I'm just giving you hints here, right? Again, let's also look at it from another aspect of it, right? See, we discussed Ardra or Tiruvadara. Tiruvadara Nakshatra, which indicates a male dog. Am I correct? And here, you have Purvashada Nakshatra, right? Sorry, you have Moola Nakshatra, which indicates a male dog. And here, you have Ardana Nakshatra. I think I need to make a correction here. Moola, please correct it. It is a female dog, right? Because you need to have one female, one male, right? So you have female here, male. What you can do is, you would find a lot of people around you, some people around you. Whenever a person uses this word, this is my area, Sir, come to Bangalore. This is my area, sir. Sir, come to Delhi. My area. You come. The moment somebody says this word area, or in the house itself, somebody says, your child says, this is my area. Don't cross this boundary. Right? Or, some people would be like, what? You are lucky that, what? We are in a different place. If at all it was my area, I would have finished you. I would have slapped you. The moment you hear this word, it is my area, automatically come into a conclusion that, what? The nakshatra is, see, our mind should only go towards astrology. Immediately you should ask, sir, are you a Moola nakshatra? Are you a Tiruvadara nakshatra? Sir, in our Bangalore, sir, in our Delhi, sir, in our colony, all of that means, what? Tiruvadara or Moola nakshatra. What is the connection here, sir? I'm just linking the animal to the characteristic. That's it. Sir, you have dogs. A dog, street dog will never allow a dog from the other street. Right? All of you have seen that. Let's say, what? There would be a bunch of dogs, 2-3 dogs. They will be the king of that street. It is their area. No other dog can come into that area. If a dog by mistake from another area comes to this area, this dog would chase this dog away till when? Till he reaches the other area. That's it. Once you're out of my area, that's it. Bye. So let's say 2 police officers or 2 policemen are running behind a person, running behind a robber. Then they say, stop. What stop? This is that area, that police station, that police station. That means what? Immediately you should ask, okay, Moola nakshatra, Ritra nakshatra, right? So when somebody has something to do with this area, remember this previous example that I told you, the husband goes with his dog, he locks the room because his area, right? You cannot come into this area and disturb. So there are so many ways, right? From the sterile cow, right? All of this that you can predict. Let's move to the next. See, I'm not actually keeping a time limit here because even if the time extends, I'm happy for teaching all of you. That's my agenda here. But let's do one thing. I think all of you do need a dinner break because it is 1:56. What all of you can do is you can just finish your dinner. You can just take some 10 minutes or 15 minutes because we have a lot to cover. We would continue. I would ideally take 1.5 hours more. So all of you need a dinner break. Can we take a dinner break? 5 to 10 minutes? Yeah. Any of you can say a yes? Can we take a dinner break? Okay. So let's take a small dinner break for 10 minutes and then we would resume the session. All right. Thank you. Okay. So always keep in mind, you need to link the gunas. See, I can straight away just tell you about, what? Marriage matching. These are the rules. The purpose of each and every program is not about, what? Just giving you some gyan and pushing off. It's about making or going about and refining your predictive skills. That is what is my agenda here, right? So please pay attention and make the best use of it, right? Because there is no time which is a barrier here. It is only your attention that is required. So let's move on to Makara Rashi or Makar Rashi. Uttara Shada continues, which is obviously what? A sterile male cow. Right. Next we have Shravana or Tiruvonam, which is called in Tamil, which is a female monkey. Right. Next we have Dhanishta, which is also called as a Vittam, which is a female lion. Now, you need to understand this thing here. Let's say you go to a house, right? Somewhere, there are 2 women sitting, mother, daughter, 2 sisters, or even friends. They are sitting. One is combing the other person's hair. and is plucking out the lice from the hair, automatically, what should come into your mind? Is the nakshatra Shravana? Is the nakshatra Tiruvona? Because nobody, unless you have a graha in Shravana nakshatra, unless Rashi nakshatra, or at least you should have a graha in Shravana nakshatra, you won't be able to notice the lies, not LIES, LICE, the lies on somebody's hair, on somebody's head. That is the nature of who? Shravana nakshatra. Why? Because Shravana Tiruvonam is a female monkey. So who better than a monkey knows, how to pull out lies? Or if you see somebody taking ticks carefully from the dog, automatically you should come to a conclusion, there is a graha. The nakshatra or the lagna has to be connected with Tiruvonam or Shravana nakshatra. So the more you understand, to understand the history of Shravana, to understand the Karakatthwas of Shravana nakshatra, you don't have to do anything. All that you need to do is get into what? Get into a research mode, studying about monkeys. Studying about female monkeys, male monkeys. Male monkey, automatically you have Purvashada nakshatra. Female monkey, what do we have? We have a Tiruvona nakshatra. The moment you understand monkeys, and it is not a joke, my dear respected students, I'm being very, very serious here. The moment you understand about monkeys, the moment you understand that, you will get new ways to go about and predict about the nakshatra. That is the base, that is the crux, that is about the nakshatra siddhanta. You need to understand that. How long does a monkey live? Right? Everything, what does a monkey eat? What does a monkey like? With that, you can come up with Parihara Jyotisha. You can come up with predictive astrology. Anything and everything is possible as long as you pay attention to it. That's it. Which means the concept is being given. And the moment you understand the concept or logic, you should be able to you should be just getting into that research mode. Research mode is what? Just keep reading books after books after books. For all of you, the simple thing that I can tell you is, if you want to learn a little bit more about nakshatras, there are so many books. I can refer so many books to you. But perhaps a very simple book where, there is a mention about yoni, there's a mention about trees, so many things about the basics, is a book which is recently released in English, which is called as Stars Astrology by Siddha Yogi Sivadashan Ravi. Right? So you can Google, you can find the publishers and everything. So there have been some great people who lived, but unfortunately we just remember them after they've passed on. So he's passed on. He's no longer alive. But his wife takes care of all these publications and everything. So you can get this book. You would be able to get more about nakshatras. That should be the start. But the moment you understand from a yoni per se, the moment you understand more and more and more about the animals, you would be able to understand more and more and more about the Karakatthwas of the nakshatra. That is the base crux of nakshatra siddhanta. Right? Next, let's move to Kumbha Rashi. Right? So you have Kumbha. Obviously, Dhanishta would continue. Right? You have the female lion here, right? Which continues. Then you have Sattabisha or Satbisha, which is a female horse. And you have Purva Bhadrapada, which is a male lion. So immediately you should understand this rule. Male lion is also here, female lion is also here. So immediately you should be able to predict. Same thing what we predicted for Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna. We should be able to predict for whom? We should be able to predict for Kumbha Rashi, Kumbha Lagna. Which means what? Where would the alliance come from? It would be nearby. It would be in your local area. It would be within your village, within your town, within your city. City is too big. Within your area, within your town, that is where you need to start with. Or somebody who you desire, somebody who you like, somebody who's known to you, somebody who's already introduced to you, right? Again, most importantly, get into the habit, whichever language you follow. If you follow Hindi, if you follow Telugu, whichever language you follow, make sure that you buy the appropriate Panchanga of that region in print. Don't look at it in WhatsApp and don't look at it in the app. Buy a book in a print version every day. Every day, at least 10 minutes if you spend reading the Panchanga. And while you're reading the Panchanga, make sure that you use your finger to navigate, because they would be written in very, very small letters, and they would have, they would look like, they are insignificant, but each and every word in the Panchanga is filled with truths like what I'm telling you now. So what you should do while you're reading the Panchanga, you should use your finger, and you should use your finger and read it. Line by line, word by word. Even if you just finish one page a day, slowly and steadily, all this would just stick into your mind, and you would get newer and newer things. So this thing which I'm telling you will be there in the Panchanga itself, which means that technically what I'm doing, I'm not some PhD teacher. I'm basically teaching you LKG, UKG subject. But the only difference is, if you're a beginner also, you would understand me. Let's say you've been practicing astrology for 7, 8, 9, even 10 years. You would be shocked listening to me, because I am teaching you the same lesson that you learned in your LKG, UKG class when you started off with astrology. The only difference is your Masterji did not teach you how to apply. I'm teaching you how to apply, right? So I'm just taking you to that same kindergarten lesson, but this is most precious. There's nothing bigger than this. There is nothing greater than this. And this is what is called traditional Jyotisha. So again, Kumbha Rashi, you should be able to predict like this. Again, why? Because you have the male lion also. You have the female lion also. So both of them are close to each other, right? Within the relation circle, amongst the family, within that local area, all of that. See, again, I'm telling you, it is not that each and everything has to work as it is. Maximum it would come. At least the least that should come from their mouth is, yes, we did get an alliance amongst our circle, amongst our family. Or, somebody really liked this boy, really liked this girl. She was our neighbor. He was our neighbor. All of this will come. Next, let's move to Meena Rashi. So, Purva Bhadrapada continues. So you have the male lion, Uttara Bhadra Pada. You have the female milk cow. So basically cow. Revati, female elephant. So now you need to understand this here. You have Revati, who's a female elephant. You have Bharani, who's a male elephant. So obviously, when we are talking about the Kala Chakra, we are talking about it moving in a clockwise motion. So if you talk about Revati here, they will get an alliance nearby. Why? Because male elephant is nearby. But if you talk about Bharani Nakshatra here, it is advisable for a person who has a Bharani Nakshatra to look at or look for alliances from far off places. Why? Male elephant is here. Start clockwise. All over it has to come to meet a female elephant here. So automatically when you get a Bharani Nakshatra, you should say, look for an alliance in a far off place. Look for an alliance away from the town, away from the city, who's a little distant, who's away. That will be good for whom? it will be good for Bharani Nakshatra. For a Revati Nakshatra, you can look nearby. You will get an alliance nearby. See, all of this is carefully thought about and taught to you. Which means, when a Bharani Nakshatra comes, tell them that looking for an alliance away, far away, it will do them good. Because remember, it is not that, some person, just randomly created this and has introduced this to you. Every placement of a nakshatra vis-a-vis the yoni associated with it, the animal associated with it, has been placed in a particular Rashi at a particular point with a purpose. Which means if Bharani Nakshatra denotes a male elephant and if Revati denotes a female elephant, there is a reason as to why it is far away. If Revati denotes a female elephant and Bharani denotes a male elephant, there is a reason why it is close by. So you should understand the hidden sukshamas behind all of this. Which means Bharani, if they get married nearby, if they get married in the close circle, if they get married amongst the close circle, if they get into something to do with a love marriage where somebody is really known to them already, it will create problems. It will create frictions. So all these golden rules, again, if you just get into the history or get into each and every bit of the animal, automatically you would get even more and more and more information, and you yourself would be stunned as to, how all of this was interconnected. Right? So now we've completed all of this. So each of them have a pair. Now you need to keep this in mind. I'm not telling that, Ashwini, male horse, you should only combine it with female horse, who is Sattabhisha. No, that is not what I'm telling. If both of them have their respective yoni, which means I am a boy, I am a man, I have a male yoni, good. She is a girl, she is a lady, she has a female yoni, good. It's good, it is doubly good. That's the way we should look at it. But what is more important here is both of them should have different genders. We are not talking about same animals, different genders. This is one logic that you need to keep in mind. And this is the first logic that needs to actually sit in your head. The moment you look into the horoscope, this is the first thing that should automatically come into your mind. Then you have the sub rules which you can use for predicting. Will it come far off? Will it come nearby? Right? How will the house be? Will there be more women? Will there be more men? Or will the men be dominating? Will the women be dominating? Right? All of this is something that you should use. Let's say, somebody is going through a kala, a dasha of marriage, right? And let's say the graha which indicates, or the dasha lord, or where the dasha lord is seated, is an Anuradha nakshatra, right? So you can also go about and predict in this way. Anuradha nakshatra. The dasha lord is seated in the Anuradha nakshatra, which denotes a female deer. Near the female deer, you have a male deer, that is Jyeshta. So automatically, what do you need to predict? Automatically, you would say that, you will get an alliance from within your area. It will be close by. So this is the logic, this is the trick, this is the sukshama that all our ancestors used, which has been forgotten. So when they said, look within your area, look away from your area, look within your circle, look away from your circle, away from your family, all of this was something which they got about from this simple, easy process. Again, always keep this in mind, that a nakshatra will carry the complete essence, the complete qualities of the animal that it is associated with. So let's say you see a boy who has a haircut like MS Dhoni. Not now, before, when he started off. He had this he had this long hair, right? If you remember. So automatically, you should say, is he a Ashwini Nakshatra? Not that MS Dhoni is Ashwini Nakshatra. I'm just giving you a hint here, right? This is the way you should look at it, right? Again, going and combining different yonis is considered to be good, which means what? from a gender perspective. This is something which should be seriously kept into your mind. This is the first rule. Let's move to the next rule. Next rule. See, I'm giving you a step-by-step process. All that you need to do is just follow the steps. From the female nakshatra, right? From the female nakshatra, the first, the third, the fifth, the seventh, and the 27th nakshatra should be excluded for the boy. When you see for the boy. Which means when you start for a girl, automatically you need to start with that first nakshatra of the girl. So let's say somebody has a Sattabhisha nakshatra and you're counting. So automatically, the first nakshatra automatically would become Sattabhisha nakshatra. The third nakshatra from Sattabhisha, automatically you need to start counting. 1, Sattabhisha. 2, Purva Bhadrapada. 3, Uttara Bhadrapada. So that is the way you count. So a boy who has a Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra cannot, should not get married to a girl who has a Sattabhisha nakshatra. This is a rule. Don't skip this rule and then go to the Rashi chakra. Don't skip this rule and go into the Navamsha or the D9 chakra. Rule is a rule is a rule. It's as simple as that. Which means don't skip a rule and go to the next rule, because you are only creating challenges for yourself. So I'm giving you a format. Just stick on with the format and you will not fail. It's as simple as that. So for a girl who has a Sattabhisha nakshatra, remember we need to start with the nakshatra of the girl. The first, which is the Janma nakshatra, should be included. The Anujanma Trijanma nakshatra, which means what are the nakshatras of Rahu. Why? Because Sattabhisha is a nakshatra of Rahu. So Tiruvadare nakshatra or Ardra nakshatra, Swati nakshatra boy, they all should be excluded. Right. Next is the third nakshatra, which is Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra, which is the nakshatra of Shani. So all the nakshatras of Shani, if you count, you will get the total as 3, right? That should be excluded. This is a mandate. This is a second step that you need to follow, right? Which means what? Now you can come up with, let's say somebody has a Bharani nakshatra. A lot of people would come up with this. So, but I have a Bharani nakshatra. My wife has a Purvashada nakshatra. We have lived so long. Nothing bad has happened to us. How did our marriage work out? Here, again I repeat, a rule will never fail. You need to deeply go about and understand their life, which means whatever I'm telling you here is purely based on experience. It is not a Gyan session, for God's sake. Which means, what happens when you combine 1, a Tara Dosha nakshatra, 2, people who have a Janma, Anujanma, Trijanma nakshatra, which means what? You have the same nakshatra lords. 1, for a few people, it automatically goes about and gives them separation. 2, anything to do with, you know what? A lot of medical expenses in the family will be high. Medical expenses can be there, but medical expenses will be on an extremely higher side for them. You check out with each of your friends, each of your family who probably married when they automatically had the same Janma, Trijanma, Anujanma nakshatra. This will definitely be an answer. Why? Because when you get married to a person who shares the same nakshatra lord, automatically you won't get one of the match, which is called as the Raju Puruttam, which is very, very, very important. Right? So the moment there is a problem associated with Raju, then automatically something to do with Arogya, it has to be afflicted. See, I can give you an example of a girl and a boy who belong to the same nakshatra lord, who have the same nakshatra lord. Happily got married, good life. But the boy is admitted in a hospital, he's in serious condition and he's been bedridden for 3 years. 3 years, imagine 3 years bedridden in a hospital. Who's going to take care of this boy? right? So this is what happens, which means you should be very, very careful when you combine nakshatras, which means Janmatara, the first, third, fifth, 7th, 22nd. I'm just using the concept of Tara dosha or Tara bala, should be excluded, full stop. And where should it be checked from? It should be checked from the girl, not from the boy. Don't start from the boy. It should be checked from the girl side. Next, this is golden rule. If you follow this rule, half of your job pertaining to nakshatra is over. From the female nakshatra, start taking the nakshatra of the boy after the 14th nakshatra. After the 14th nakshatra or beyond the 14th nakshatra, you start taking the nakshatra for the boy. Automatically, you will get most of the points. Whichever culture you follow, whether you're from the North Indian part of India, South Indian part of India, the Eastern part of India, each of them will have their own style. That's okay. From the female's nakshatra, you cross the 14th nakshatra and you start looking out for the nakshatras after that. And automatically, that will actually go about and have good combination pertaining to matching. This is a simple, easy, golden rule. Right. Which means what? This is purely shared based on, you know what? One after another, looking at horoscopes, studying horoscopes. Next, Dina Purutta or Dina matching in a horoscope is extremely important. What is Dina Puruttam? That is a Tamil concept. You should have an equivalent for that in the northern part of India. From the girl's nakshatra, if the boy's nakshatra is 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 11th. I'm just giving this to you for an information. You just need to type in these days. You will get the entire result. 13th, 15th, right? 18th, 20th, 24th, 26th, 27th, if it is in the same Rashi. If it is in a different Rashi, it should be excluded. What does Dina Puruttam mean? It just means that, you know what? Dina means day, right? So daily the husband and wife should meet each other. That's it. So if the husband and wife meet each other, sit, talk, spend some time together, then it is good. So all traditional astrologers, at least in the southern part of India, who are truly experts in their field, not that, you know, they just crap around. They definitely consider the Dina Purutta. Right? Which means the husband or the wife will spend time with each other. Next is the Gana Purutta, which means what? Each of the nakshatra is assigned a Gana. Either a Deva Gana or a Rakshasha Gana or a Manusha Gana. Gana is equal to Guna. This is Gana Purutta. Ideally, what they say is what? A Deva should marry a Deva. A Rakshasha should marry a Rakshasha. Again, at times it is acceptable for a male to be a Rakshasha, right? A female to be a Manusha, because the male is the earning member, right? Again, a Deva can marry a Manusha. Likewise, you know, for a boy to be a Manusha or a Deva to marry a Rakshasha is considered to be known. You don't have to worry about this. All of this will come to you in reports itself these days. But I'm just giving you the rule here. But I will give you the golden rule. I've already given you a golden rule. Next is called as Mahendra Purutta, which is about, you know what, a person, a male member being able to take care of the family, or most importantly, it is used for something to do with childbirth. Then is Yoni Purutta. That is something that we discussed. Stri Dirga. I will explain to you the importance of it. Rashi Purutta. Rashi Adhipati Purutta. Rashi, automatically when we are referring to the Rashi here, we are referring to whether a Rashi is friendly with each other or not friendly with each other. Again, Rashi Adhipati also, we are referring to whether it is friendly from each other or non-friendly from each other. Especially Rashi Puruttam, what we look at is, it should not be 1, 7, 9 from a Rashi perspective, or If it is 1, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 from the Rashi, again we are referring to the female Rashi here, then it automatically means what? Good. Again, if it is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th from the female Rashi, it is not considered to be good. Right. Next is Rashi Adhipati, which automatically means what? We have Rashi Lords. So are they friendly with each other or not? So this is something. Then you have something called as Vashya Puruttam, which means what? Is there something to do with Vashyam? Which means each of the Rashi has a Vashyam towards another Rashi. Like for example, Mesham has a closeness or affinity towards Simham Vrishchakam, Rishabam Kadagam Tulam, Midhunam Kanya, Kadagam Vrishchaka Dhanusha, Kanni Rishabha Meena, Tula Makara, Vrishchaka Kadaga, Kanni, Dhanusha Meena, Makara Mesha Kumbha, Kumbha Meena, Meena Makara. These are just something which I'm just explaining to you for the sake of it, because you just need to type and you will get it. But typing and getting is not the problem. Now, how do I take? Right? Next is Raju, which means what? We're talking about each of the nakshatra is assigned to a body part. Right? So automatically, it is very, very important that two people have different Rajus. Right? So you have the Sirasa Raju. Of course, I will get into what is important. Right? I don't want to confuse you here. What is important? Next, after Raju, you also have Vedai, that is like the 11th in the list. Now, this is just for your information, okay? This will be there everywhere. You just go to, you just buy this Astrovision, or even, no, don't go about buying. You just go to these free apps, you will get it. Don't worry about it. But this is the complaint, because over the last years, everybody went to the net, they typed in their name, girlfriend's name, boyfriend's name, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and they got married. And it is not working out. Rule. Just note down the rule. Write down the rule now. In all of this, even if you get 5, that is more than enough. Right now. 7, 8, don't go for 7 and 8. Right. Even if you get 5, that is more than enough. The only thing is, from the female sign, from the female nakshatra, 1, 3, 5, 7, 22. Again, I repeat, 1, 3. Okay, I will give you a logic on how to understand it further later on. Should be avoided. Above 15, above 14 should be encouraged. If you just consider this, whether you're from North India, East India, South India, whatever India, or whatever part of the world, you are going to get 50 marks. 50 marks is enough. 35 marks, 40 marks pass. 50 marks has come, right? But again, here, always keep in mind that the Tara Dosha Nakshatras should be avoided, right? Once you get, something to do with what? Anything which I have suggested, above 14, 1, 3, 5, 7, 22 are avoided, then easily you will get 5 to 6 matches amongst both of them, right? So blindly, without any doubt, you can go to that next level, right? This is it. Now let's take an example here. Okay, let's take an example here. Let's say somebody has a Rohini Nakshatra, who we are going to take from a girl. So let's pick a girl who has a Rohini Nakshatra, right? Let's say the male Nakshatra is Sattabhisha, right? So right from Rohini, you need to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So now you will come up with 21, right? So now you would say, sir told 1, 3, 5, 7, 22. This is not 22. So I will take it, tick mark. No, that is not the way it works. 21. 2 plus 1 is equal to what? 3. You don't take it. Again, remember when I told you the 22nd nakshatra, that is the Vainashika nakshatra, right? So let's say you get the 14th nakshatra, you can take it, right? That is the only exception. Otherwise, apart from that, you have to follow. Let's say you have what? Chitra nakshatra. Let us take Chitra nakshatra. Let me just erase this for you. So let's say you have Chitra nakshatra. A girl has a Chitra nakshatra. A boy has a Ashwini nakshatra, right? So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? 15, right? So 15, 1 plus 5, 6. It automatically becomes the sadhana tara. So you can automatically go about and give it a tick mark. Write it in the order, exact order that I'm telling you, right? So that you should be able to practice and you should be able to check. Now you have Chitra, right? And you have what? You have Ashwini nakshatra. Let's go on to this next page here. So let's get here. We have Ashwini, who's a male horse, correct? And we have Chitra, who's a male tiger. So both of them have the same gender of the yoni. So here, nakshatra good. But yoni minus. So can you go about and match them? Even though the Tarabala is good, this combination qualifies for a Madhyama Bhala, which means it is average. This is where marriages fail, right? Because the yoni does not match. Both of them have a male yoni. So as the rule we discussed, is it above 14? Yes, obviously it is above 14 because it is the 15th nakshatra. That is the second rule that we discussed. What is the first rule that we discussed? The yoni, the gender of the yoni should be different. So if you have the Tarabala, if it is beyond 14, good. But if the yoni does not match, both of them male, both of them female, then it indicates a Madhyama Bala. Okay, sir. Still, if we go about and combine both these horoscopes, what would happen? Sir, you have Lord Ayyappan, you have Sabarimala Ayyappan, you have Harihara Sudan, right? He is what? He is from a male yoni and a male yoni. He is Harihara Putran, right? What did Harihara Putran do? What did Sabarimala Ayyappan proceed with? He did not want a marriage. So your child will also not want a marriage, will not want a marriage. And that is where it would lead. And that is why I started. Why do you want to get married, by the way? For Kula Vriddhi, for Santana Vriddhi. Right? So this is the way you should look at it. Next, let us take another example so that all of you understand it clearly. Let's take Rohini Nakshatra again. Right? Let's take Sattabhisha Nakshatra again. So if you count, you would automatically get 21. 3. You cannot take. Right? Let's take Dhanishta. Automatically you would get 20. So can you take? Yes, you can take. Then automatically what do you need to do? Dhanishta, Avittam. Avittam is what? It is a female lion. Right? Automatically Rohini, male cobra. Yes, this can be combined. So this is the only thing that you need to do the next time you start with the nakshatra. Don't confuse yourself with this, that, and hinder in taking that final step. This is the only step which is involved. See, what happened in the past? 10 years, 15 years, a lot of people are complaining. We went as per the nakshatra kutha, right? Because all astrologers did that 10, 15 years back. We excluded 1, 3, 5, 7, 22. Still, why is my son divorced? Why is my daughter divorced? What happened? So after going through all these years of experiences of people going through divorces after divorces, this is what was found. It is the yoni. Whose yoni? Not their yoni. Parents' yoni. They don't have a child automatically. You need to look at all of this, right? Which automatically means it creates problems pertaining to children. It also gives, children who have orientation towards the same sex, the same gender, right? So it is not that Kali Yuga has happened. It is just that, you've missed out some important points while matching a horoscope, the main point, and that is the reason you're getting children like that. Not that in any ways I'm telling this is right or wrong. That is none of my business. But what I'm telling you here is, this is what you get. Right? One is child automatically difficult. Or children getting married, difficult. Who? Their children. Or even if you get children who are not really interested in the opposite gender. Next, children having health issues one after the other. All of this, if you take their parents' horoscope, you will see that, they all went to good astrologers. They all went to the right astrologers who were famous because you had the television during that time. Not that I'm against any person. And they all had famous astrologers, known astrologers. They matched as per the nakshatra. They did not give importance to the yoni because they just thought, it is just about sexual compatibility and nothing else. And this is what has happened, right? So you should think, the moment you get a concept, you should immediately imbibe it, research it, and you should not let go of the concept even if it does not work or not. There should be some sub-rule associated with it, right? So the moment you actually follow these steps, exclude the 1, 3, 5, 7, look at the yoni, different yonis, cross the 14th nakshatra, automatically you will get around 14 nakshatras. No. In that 14 nakshatras, you just need to pick for each nakshatra. There are just 5 nakshatras which are more suitable. You just need to pick these nakshatras. And that is what is called as experience. Right? That is all that you need to understand. This is the entire game of matching two horoscopes. Just 5 nakshatras you should get for each of the nakshatra and you should be good to go. Right? Same ways, you also need to understand, right? Whenever you're checking all of this, immediately keep in mind, one is, we discussed about the distance, we discussed about the genders, the dominance of the genders. Again, we discussed about special nakshatra, Uttarada nakshatra or Uttarashada nakshatra, male sterile cow. So when you're matching something to do with, childbirth, immediately don't come to a conclusion, I should not match anything with a Uttarada nakshatra. But when you see complications in childbirth, look where the lagna is. Is it an Uttarada nakshatra? Is Guru an Uttarada nakshatra? You may miss these little small points. Sir, what happens as far as Tara dosha is concerned? You're talking about children, but amongst them, let's say, I go and combine with 1, 3, 5, 7, 22. Automatically, what would happen? Automatically, 1, you have it in the name itself, Vipattitare, which automatically means accidents. Minuses pertaining to life in general, health issues, health hazards. Relationship itself will wean away. It will deteriorate, right? The reason I'm talking about, you should choose nakshatras above 14 is a very, very simple logic. See, does it mean I'm going to exclude 14? Yes, you can ideally go about and exclude 14. Why? Because 1 plus 4. I don't know if I told you. 22. 22 is, I told you, take 13 is also fine. But 14 you obviously need to exclude. Why? Because 1 plus 4 is 5. So you cannot take the fifth in most of the cases, as I told you. Right? The reason I'm telling you to cross the 14th nakshatra from the girl is because once you cross the 14th nakshatra from the girls and start looking out for alliance, you will get a very, very important match which is called as Stri Dirgham. Right? The Stri Dirgha would be Bala. And what is the Stri Dirgha? It indicates the Ayul. Ayul pertaining to what? Literally the Ayul in the form of longevity. But Ayul also indicates Mangalya Bala, which means what? How long will this marriage sustain? Right? So let's say, you are getting some very good horoscopes, very good alliances, which are within that 14th nakshatra. They have not crossed the 14th nakshatra. Obviously, the Stri Dirgha count would be less. Right? The Stri Dirgha count would automatically be less. So if you are like, but this is a very, very good alliance. I don't want to miss out on this alliance. But somehow you need to keep in mind, till the 7th, the Stri Dirgha is more or less average. Only when it crosses 13, 14, automatically you can come into a conclusion that, the Stri Dirgha is strong. Dirgha, which means what? Long enough. Stri is the Stri. The Ayul of the Stri, the Mangalya Balam of the Stri. That's it, full stop. So, let's say you get a horoscope where, let's say you have a nakshatra. The second nakshatra itself matches, it's good. The horoscope is also good. Automatically, the Stri Dirgha Bala won't be strong. Then what you need to do is you need to thoroughly verify the second bhava, which is the Kutumba Sthana, and the 8th bhava, which is the Ayul and Mangalya Sthana, for both of them, and then decide upon the marriage. This is a rule. Please note it down. So the reason I'm telling cross 14 is to make sure that the Stri Dirgha is Bala. Right? Next. This is again a small tip. See, whenever I'm giving you a tip or a note, write it, keep a separate book for it, put an index, put this is the rule, this is the remedy, so that you can easily refer. In a family, if a father and son, right, have the same yoni means same gender of the yoni, male, male, female, female, or father, mother, son, father, son, daughter, whatever, whichever way you want, automatically there would be differences of opinion between the son and the father. Check this. So the yoni can be used in so many different ways. It is not so gross as just looking at, not that getting into the sensual pleasure with your legitimate partner is wrong, but it is not just limited to that. It has so many viable applications. Please understand that, right? Which means if the father is having male yoni, son is having male yoni, both of them won't get along. Father is having female yoni, son is also having female yoni, both of them won't get along. Check. Right. Next, we will cover, what is Kuja dosha, what is Rahu dosha. It is going to go, right? I would be telling you all of that, but this is the starting stage, the first step. And again, I repeat, just because I'm telling it is the first step, it does not mean, this is the basic step. It is a step-by-step approach that you need to take. So now you know who all can get married amongst their relative circle. Right? Which side you will get your marriage from. Right? Again, automatically, once you understand this logic, you can come up with your own style of logic. Who will get close by, who will get in a distance. Right? Which nakshatra is good, which nakshatra is bad. More than 40. Next, what you can write is the Mahendra Purutta, right? That is not something that everybody will get, right? That can be excluded. You don't have to worry too much because very few people would have Mahendra Purutta, right? Mahendra can be taken in two ways. One is for childbirth. Some people, they consider it for, the male to actually control the house, take care of the household. So you don't have to worry if you don't have the Mahendra Purutta. Why? Because very few people would rarely get it. The logic behind it is, in your Navamsha Mandala, right? Navamsha Mandala, for people who know basics, you should know that, right? But if there are students, because I'm teaching people who are at an intermediate level and who are at a higher level. So, but that does not mean if you don't know basics, you can immediately call me. But in the Navamsha Mandala, right, you have the Mesha Mandala, you have the Simha Mandala, you have the Dhanusha Mandala. So if both their nakshatras, right, happen to be in the same mandala, right, then you have something called as Mahendra Purutta, right? So if you want me to teach you that, if you want me to tell you that right away, I can do that, but you would just be taking time, right? Which means, let's say, somebody has a nakshatra of Ketu, right? And somebody has a nakshatra of Moon or Chandra. So, which is what is the nakshatra lord of Ketu? I mean, what is the nakshatra lord? I mean, you have the Ketu's nakshatra and you have Moon's nakshatra. So, in the Navamsha, which mandala would they occupy? They would occupy the Mesha mandala. So, they would have Mahendra Purutta. Or let's say somebody has a Mars nakshatra and somebody has a Shani's nakshatra, right? So, in the Navamsha, right, the grahas, which is that would occupy the Simha mandala. So, this is not something that you need to see so much when it comes to Mahendra Puruttam, because very rarely people would have that, right? This is one part. So, this is also something that you need to keep in mind. So, beyond 14 good, immediately you will be able to get 5 important matches. 5 important Puruttas, right? Again, let's say, as I already told you, if you get it before 14, please make sure that you check the 2nd and the 8th bhava, right? Next, you need to keep this in mind that, when you're looking at matches, right? One is, there is something that I can teach you, but there is something called as experience. So as you keep studying horoscopes after horoscopes, if you're a practicing astrologer, good, you would have horoscopes. Else you can just look at and collect other people's horoscope. A lot of things happen via experience. Of course, I'm sharing you a set of experiences, but you also need to enrich your experience, which means, of course, this concept of, or this fact that a lot of astrologers have come to a conclusion that, Nakshatra Purutta, or considering the nakshatras, considering the Tara Bala works only to a certain extent is true. But at the same time, a lot of astrologers have come to a conclusion that, you don't have to look at it at all. No, there is a 50% contribution definitely from the nakshatra or the matches associated with the nakshatra. After you've done that, then there are several routes to come into a conclusion whether you can match this horoscope or not, based on combining both the horoscope. That is what I'm there for. That is what I'm there to teach you. So you don't have to worry. Which means this step has to be satiated upon. Don't get fooled around by people who tell you that, no, let's get into the Rashi Chakra, Navamsha Chakra itself. Don't do that. That is wrong. That is incorrect. Whatever has been a tradition should be followed, because tradition and practices have been there for a reason. We should always keep that in mind, right? There should be some reason, there should be some logic behind each and every tradition. Of course, I'm giving you the logic behind it, but there are so many things which are always hidden and you only know later on. Next, when you combine the nakshatra of Sun and the nakshatra of Guru, usually astrologers would not combine, right? Why? Because they would come under the same Raju, which is called as a Nabhi Raju, which indicates the navel or the stomach area, right? So let's say, for example, a girl has a Vishaka Nakshatra. So Vishaka Nakshatra, they would say that, you should not combine it with the star of Sun, which is Kritika Nakshatra, right? They would just blindly reject the horoscope. So experience is that you don't have to reject the horoscope just for that. Why? You can just tell them that the first child, right? The first child won't survive. That's it, right? Which means you can combine this by counseling them this fact that, there would be an abortion of the first child. That's it. So this is what it actually signifies. Why? Because it indicates the same Raju, But what it does is, it just does this. So if a couple is prepared for that, it does not mean no child at all. If the couple is prepared for that, it wouldn't create any other problems. Then you can tell them to proceed. So these are all step-by-step golden points. You need to write all of that down. Right? Next. Tip. Every week I share a tip. Every class I share a tip. Every class I give you an enabler. Where does a lion reside? Where does a lion reside? It resides in a cave, right? The house that you and I reside in, that also is like a cave. Am I correct? Right? Which automatically means, if you want to own your own house, enabler for the week. If you want to own your own house, own property, own land, go on seeing a picture of a lion, or if possible, go to a zoo and see a lion regularly. You will get your own house. Right. Okay. So Simha, Sun, right? Because Simha Rashi. So where does Sun attain strength? He attains strength in Mesha Rashi. He attains strength in Vrishchika Rashi. Am I correct? Which means, what are the nakshatras in Mesha and Simha? Which are the nakshatra lord? You have the nakshatra lord, Ketu, Shukra, Sun. So, during a Ketu Dasha, Shukra Dasha, Surya Dasha, you will, or there's a lot of possibility, many people who I have observed, who I have seen, who I have noted, these are points that you actually go about. One, you study. Second, you note. Third, you apply. And only after application, I'm giving you, right? So, during the Dasha of Ketu, Shukra and Sun, a lot of people go about and get property. You may be laughing inside. So Ketu Dasha, who builds a house, sir? Check. Lot of people have happened to build houses during Ketu Dasha. Surya Dasha, Shukra Dasha, all of you may agree, but a lot of people get houses during Ketu Dasha. Use it as a rule, right? Why? Because of the same rule here. So if you want a house, if you're not going through a Ketu Dasha, Surya Dasha, or a Shukra Dasha, at least go regularly to a zoo and see a lion or see a picture of a lion regularly. Right? Next. Those who find fault with other people, you are this, you are that, this is this. You can find fault with your wife also. Wife can find fault with the husband also. They will have heat burns or fire accidents. You should never find fault with other people. For everything, okay, sir, yes, sir, fine, sir, bye, sir. This is how your life should be. Okay, ma'am, yes, ma'am, fine, ma'am. Don't find fault with other people. There was a great Tamil poet during the Sangam era. His name is Nakirar, right? So he went and started arguing with Lord Shiva itself that, you're wrong. What you're telling is wrong. This is not correct. You may be Lord Shiva who has a third eye which is open, but you are wrong. So Lord Shiva burnt Nakirar into ashes. Just need to remember the story, which means you should not find fault with others. The moment you find fault, or if you go to a house where somebody is telling, husband is like this, son is like this is like that, inevitably there would be a fire accident or there would be a heat burn, right? So in today's class, what did we learn? We studied about the yoni, right? Again, using yoni, we spoke about dominance. Who will dominate? Male, female, in the house. Whether you will get an alliance nearby. We went into the concept of choosing nakshatras, right? Again, 14 above we studied, right? Again, once you do all this, at least you will get 5 or 6, whatever you call in your language. Here we call it Purutam. There it could be Gun Milan or Ashtakuta, whatever you want to call it. At least you would get decent, good 5-6 points. Don't go to 7-8 points for people in the northern part of India, 30 points, 32 points. Don't go all there. The minimal amount of points, as long as you cross what I'm telling you, you will get it, right? Mas dosha, Naga dosha, all of that we will discuss later on, right? Again, we would also be going about and studying practical example charts, and I would be teaching you all of this. Next is a tip for people who have a Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. See, if a person has a Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, that's the reason I told you can just buy this book from Shivadashan Ravi, or there are so many other good books as well. There is a book written by Mrs. I think, Komila, I don't know how you pronounce the last name. So there are so many books on Nakshatra. You can have it. Nakshatra trees are there, which means each and every characteristic trait of a person is connected to the animal, connected to the tree. So let's say somebody has a Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. You can tell them to visit places associated with neem, because Uttara Bhadrapada signifies the neem tree. You would have places associated with neem, right? Like in Tamil Nadu, we have a place called as Vembur. Vemb itself means neem. Now, I've not suggested a person in the northern part of India, but I do have a client. And, when he used to share his birth details and he used to tell me where he is born, he's born in a place called as Neem Ka Thana in Rajasthan. I've not suggested a person to go there, but I'm telling you, connect the names with the places vis-a-vis with the nakshatra and look at it as Parihara Jyotisha. It works for me. It will work definitely for you, right? Like this, you can actually go about and prescribe remedies. Like for example, Ashwini Nakshatra. If somebody has a Graha associated with Ashwini Nakshatra and somebody is telling or is going through a Dasha Bhukti of a Graha in Ashwini Nakshatra and says that, I want to be an air hostess. I want to be a pilot. Somewhere, yes, it would happen. Why? Because Ashwini, it indicates what? The falcon, right? It's called as Rajali in Tamil, right? So automatically you would fly, you would move from one place to another place. You would, be traveling frequently. All of this is there, right? Again, Ashwini indicates a horse, right? So what does a horse do? Have you seen a horse? A running horse? What does it do? It actually picks up dirt as it runs, right? So Ashwini, right, is equal to JCB. You have this JCB, which picks all the dirt, which picks all the mud. That is Ashwini Nakshatra, right? Immediately JCB, you would start imagining Mars mission. Simple, sir. These are all simple things. So JCB, Ashwini Nakshatra. If Ashwini Nakshatra is a Tarabala Nakshatra, you have those JCB toys. You'll have these toys which look like JCB. Tell them to keep it. That will do work. Right? So you should start looking at, again, Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. We just discussed about it in the form of what? Cow. Right? So automatically, something associated with a cow, right? It could just be a person who's named like Gautam, right? Gautami. All of this name will be there in the house, right? Something associated with the cow automatically will be there. You can use it to prediction, right? So we studied about male-female yoni, right? And next is Mas Dasha Nagadosha, that would be covered. Obviously, we have a 9-day long session, so everything would be covered. Obviously, I would be taking you through all of that. But till now, whatever we discussed, if you do have any doubts or if you do have your feedback about today's session, you're welcome to ask me. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any doubt? Movie is coming to an end.
Sir, where we have to use Lagan Nakshatra or Birth Nakshatra?
Birth Nakshatra. Birth Nakshatra, not Lagna Nakshatra.
For Yoni, we have to use Birth Nakshatra? Sir?
Yes, Birth Nakshatra. We are discussing Birth Nakshatra here. Yeah. Lagna we will discuss once we start getting into the horoscope. All right, yeah. Or use a question, should I look at Birth Nakshatra and Lagna Nakshatra? No, yeah. Then nobody will get married to nobody. Only look at Birth Nakshatra for the rules that I've told you till now. Right? But yeah, please remember, I've already told you certain sub-rules. Not based on marriage matching. Lagna falling in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Sorry, Lagna falling in Uttarashada Nakshatra. Moon falling in Uttarashada Nakshatra. Guru falling in Uttarashada Nakshatra. All those sub-rules, hope you remember that. That is not linked with marriage matching. They are all like, additional ways to predict. But from a marriage matching perspective, what did we discuss today? From a girl's birth nakshatra, where Chandra is, that is what we are accounting for the yoni. Again, for the Gun Milan, or what we call as Dasavida Puruttam in Tamil, which is actually 11, we only consider the birth nakshatra, from the birth nakshatra. Of course, you have Rashi, you have the Rashi Adhipati. For that, you consider the Rashi. But otherwise, it is purely based on the birth, natal, Janma, nakshatra, considered only from the girl. So don't look at, Tarabala from the boy's side. No, don't do that. That is not the way it works. It won't work. Right. Any other question? And please follow the rules. Don't jump from one rule to another. Start with the yoni. Then you go in the same order that I'm telling. The order that you should follow while seeing a birth chart also should be like this. Tomorrow when you're teaching also, it should be like this. That's it. Right. Okay, picture over, movie over. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your precious time. As I always tell you all, it's not about giving time. It's about making use of time. It's not about giving money. It's about making use of it effectively. Money is secondary. You should be able to apply, get result from each and every rule that is being discussed on a session to session basis. Not that you wait with me for 1 year, 2 years. No. This session, am I useful to you? Then I'm your teacher. Good. If I'm not useful to you, tata, bye-bye, see you. You should find somebody else. This is the way you should approach, right? So good luck to all of you. We would meet day after tomorrow, because I just need to give a gap so that you also revise. And most importantly, I also take care of my consultation. That's about it. Thank you. Namaste. And a very, very good night to all of you.
Good night. Good night, sir.
Thank you.